All right, we are live. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brown Logan. We are live right now. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, and I definitely appreciate you for that. We got quite a few topics on deck for the night, of course. We're talking about the White House Social Media Summit. I wish I could have been there, but unfortunately I was not invited. But it was a lot going on. A little kerfuffle after the actual event. Some things going on during the event and before the event. And even after the after events that happened, there's still some more going on. R. Kelly got arrested on federal sex crime charges. They said they got like 20 tapes of underage girls he was dealing with. Hopefully he gets put under the penitentiary this time. If not, put him in the chair, but that's a different story. Pelosi and really the whole Democratic Party versus AOC. What's going on with that? What's going to be the end result? I'm hearing things from the Democratic Party. They're calling her a fraud, talking about she's not really, a real person, a trust fund baby, this, that, and the third from the Democratic Party. We'll see where that goes. Also, there's a lot on topic. There's a lot on deck for the night. I don't even know where to start, but it's almost that time for me to go ahead and turn the camera on. Once again, I thank you all for joining this episode of ABL Live, and I am on. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And before I even get into it, I just want to say thank y'all for 300,000 subscribers. I just hit that today. Now, I made like a formal video, but I'm going to just say it right now since I just hit it today. Thank y'all for allowing me to get to 300,000 subscribers. That's a big mark for me. You guys don't even understand how big it is for me. So I just want to thank y'all for letting me get there. And this ain't the end, of course. We're just really getting started. We're just scratching the surface. I'm trying to get to 400, 500, a million or more. I'm trying to get more people on from all over the world, from everywhere, all over the planet, all different races, ages, whatever. I'm trying to get more and more and more to spread the good word of conservatism. So I thank y'all for letting me get to 300,000 subscribers, because without y'all, I couldn't do it. It's all really, it's you guys. You have reached 300,000 subscribers. You have built a community that has gotten to 300,000. So I'm glad I'm here just to be able to help the whole thing go along. So thank y'all for that. I really appreciate it. 100%. Yeah, 301. Hey, I was, I kind of predicted it might happen like right around now. I think I said July 15th, but I beat that by a couple of days, and we had 301. So yeah, it's really just kind of zooming. So thank y'all. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. But there's a whole lot going on in the news. The White House Social Media Summit. Now, this was really crazy. I think what happened there was inevitable, because the old media have been so envious of the new media for a long time. There was bound to be some kind of clash, some kind of, locking of the horns, if you will. You had this guy from, I guess he's from CNN. He's a CNN contributor, and he writes for, what's that, Playboy? I think he is or was the White House correspondent for Playboy magazine. Now, I don't know how Playboy magazine has a White House correspondent, but I digress. So he was there talking all kind of crazy, saying, you can meet me outside. We could talk for real. Wink, wink. Fighting words, really. And if you hear a thing like that, some guys might just steal on you. They might just hit you in the face right away, instantly. So you can just go ahead and give it over with. We're not going outside. I'm gonna just punch you in the face right here. Okay. But he said that in the Rose Garden. It's like, sir, you're in the White House. We're not inside the White House, but you're on the White House property. You're inside the gate. What are you doing? Secret Service had to get you in here, sir. You had to get screened and everything else. So if you decide to threaten somebody or hit somebody right here, you going to the penitentiary ASAP. It ain't going to be, you got cameras everywhere. Secret Service is right there. I mean, that's an easy one-way ticket to the big house, to the who's goo. You understand what I'm saying? So this dude was out of control, and Sebastian Gorka just stepped up to him and said, come on, man, you're not a journalist, you're a clown. And he was right. He was 100% correct. And it was funny when Brandon stepped up on him. And shout out to my man Brandon. I know Brandon, you're not going to be just talking crazy to a young lady and him be right there. So he rolled up on him while Joy Villa was right there having a back and forth with the guy. And once Brandon approached him, I could see him trying to like back down. He was like, "Oh no, I didn't say we can go outside and do anything. We can just go out." It's like, man, come on. Now you want to get all scared. That's how they do. That whole interaction I saw at the White House social media summit afterwards from the leftist media is how the leftist media and leftists in general operate. They'll throw a stone and hide their hand. Like, no, that wasn't me. That was somebody else. No, that wasn't me. I didn't say that. Stuff like that. That's how they operate. They always antagonize and then want to play the victim. People like Jim Acosta, etc., always want to play the victim, talking about, oh, you see how we're being mistreated. You see how the press gets treated. And a video comes out to totally disprove the whole thing, to totally knock it out the water. That's how they do on the left. They come up with things that aren't true, that don't make sense, and then they get proven to not be true and to not make sense. And then here we are left with a big mess from them. But that's just kind of how they operate. Shout out to Jonestown Autopsy, who says old media be like, why don't President of the U.S. pay attention to us? New media be like, bye, Felicia. Exactly. 100%. And thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah. That's correct, Rory Bear. When Brandon spoke, he was getting scared. Yes, indeed. And we're all kind of big guys. Brandon is my size. I'm 6'3", 225 right now. He's about my size, if not bigger. So when you see a guy and he is not afraid, he looks you in the eye, he does not, cower down, regardless of the size, a person like that guy, that leftist will get intimidated. Kind of a soft bully. Anybody that kicks back or, wants to press back on him, he'll back down if he feels like they may be a threat to him in some kind of way, regardless of size or whatever. But that's generally how they do. And it's like going back to high school. You got a bully and the bully keep messing with you. You punch him in the head and then it stops. That's kind of what's going on right here with these people on the left. And it's like, all right, man, how old are you, Brian Karam? Whatever his name is. I think his name is Karam. But how old are you, sir? You're like in your 50s. You're acting like you're about 15 years old again. Grow up. Get out of your mom's basement, figuratively or literally. I don't know where the dude lives at, but that's a different story. So, yeah. That whole situation was crazy, but what it really outlines is how the alternative media has now taken over the traditional media, at least in the eyes of the public and at least in the eyes of the old media. If the old media did not think that we have taken over or that we have taken the big hit out of their bottom line, there would not be so much animosity. There would not be so much anger and angst and all that kind of good stuff, And it was hilarious when Trump had the old media sit in the back and the new media sit in the front for this particular event. I figured that it wouldn't really be anything different. I guess that's kind of how it would be, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. But either way it goes, people like Jim Acosta and others got triggered by that because they know that they are not the priority. They are not the main ones that are going to be able to get stories and scoops, and people have been hitting me up on Twitter. Some of the leftists talking about, oh, you guys don't have investigative journalists. You guys don't have copy editors. You guys don't have people that go out there and report on the ground. It's like, sir, we have all of that. Just because you don't see them with a bunch of Instagram followers and being a polarizing figure does not mean it don't exist. We have all of that and more. Okay, you got whole news networks that are being formed right now based off of that are going to destroy the old school media. Okay, you're going to have stuff that's on television that is better than the old media. You CNN, ABC, NBC, CNN, etc. All that's going by the wayside. It's going away to dodo bird because nobody wants to hear that anymore. Nobody wants to hear the same old tired, fake, worn out rhetoric. We're taking over. Old media is dead, Peter, 1,000%. I agree with you. Absolutely. Hey, Brian, Trump derangement syndrome is real. Oh, man. It's like you're talking about a clinical diagnosis. Did you see that guy? I did a video a while back. It was this dude. It was an older man. He was a professor, I think, in Nevada. It might have been Vegas. I'm not quite sure if it was Vegas or not. But this man shot himself in the arm on the campus, like on a college campus in the bathroom, shot himself in the arm and left a note on the window talking about he's protesting Trump. It's like, what are you doing? Why would you hurt yourself because you don't like Trump? How is that going to hurt Trump? You hurt your own self and left a note. What does I got to do? And then you had a gun on campus. Like, I just don't understand these people. But you know what? What they're doing is not really to be understood. When you're trying to rationalize an insane person, you're going to make your own self insane because by definition, this person is not sane. They're not mentally capable of doing rational things. So you're not going to be able to understand why they do an irrational thing like that. But yeah, I'm seeing all kind of examples of it. You're seeing reporters just spazzing out, spitting and cussing and fussing, just having a big time, 2.5-year-old meltdown when they can't get their favorite toy when they want to get it. You understand what I'm saying? If a little boy's outside playing with his favorite toy and it falls down the sewer drain, that kind of crying, the snot cry. That's what they're kind of doing right now as full-grown adult men and women out there because they have Trump derangement syndrome. But, hey, it is what it is. I think it's hilarious because all they're going to do is just kind of just wear themselves out, just like little kids. A kid will be running around the house, crying, fussing, and cussing, and then at a certain point, they're just going to want to take a nap. That's going to be the left. They're just like children having a tantrum. And the adults in the room will continue to carry on business as usual. That's how it goes. And I think that's why a lot of people are just coming to our side, like Bob Johnson. Shout out to Bob Johnson. Lifelong Democrat said, you know what? I think I'm tired of the Democratic Party. I think I'm done. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just not vote for anybody over there and kind of just mosey my way over to the right. Just kind of he was like a centrist kind of person, and the Democratic Party left him. They went all the way to the left. So he's in no man's land, and by default, he'll just be on the right. And that'll be a lot of people come 2020. It's going to be embarrassing for whoever gets a nomination. I mean, who do you guys think will be the nominee? I'm thinking Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Cory Booker, or a combination of the three, two of the three in some kind of way. Maybe you have Cory and Kamala be vice president and president. Maybe you have Cory and Joe be president and vice. I'm not really sure how that will work. Can you be vice president twice? I don't know. I think they may try to get Joe Biden in there, and when he expires or retires, they want to replace him with the vice president, and that'll probably be somebody like a Cory Booker, or I don't even know who else. I mean, this is going to be embarrassing. You're talking about Walter Mondale, 1984 versus Ronald Reagan. You're talking about that kind of just, landslide victory. How can anybody beat this man? There's nobody over there that has any kind of real message. And Kamala Harris, I think, might be the strongest one as we're speaking right now today, July 13th, 2019. But when you hear all that dirt that's about her to come out in the media and it's being played over and over again about how she got with a man that was twice her age and married and was already the mayor of San Francisco to help her political career. He put her into positions. He put her into high-ranking positions of power in California that sparked her career. He got on TV and spoke about it. Her own father got on some kind of platform and wrote an op-ed about how their family owned slaves. So, I mean, there's a lot of strikes against her. When all that dirt comes out and you hear it over and over again, it's going to be too easy. If Kamala Harris were to be Trump's running mate, the commercials just write themselves. They write themselves. The hit pieces and all the anti-Kamala Harris and pro-Trump ads are just writing themselves right now as you speak. It's pictures of her with the old man at the table and pictures of his wife at the same time. All kind of crazy stuff, lying about her heritage, talking about, oh, I'm black, but 2 years ago you were Indian. How that happened? How you Indian 2 years ago, now all of a sudden you black? What's really going on? Who are you really? I've heard about flip-flopping or changing your position, change your heart, but how do you change your race in 2 years? I don't really know, but I digress. Take it to Jonestown Autopsy, who says YouTubers are taking a huge part of mainstream media's audience. Move over CNN. Brooke Baldwin, Gina Shakespeare of the Epoch Times is here. The times are changing. 100%. The times are changing. And it's just going to have to be the way it is. You know, some industries, they go away. Newspapers, they're going away. You know, people were in the newspapers reading it cover to cover. Now everybody's in their phone reading that cover to cover figuratively. It's the same thing. You're reading news on a device that you can bring anywhere, and most of it is free, and it's compact. It'll fit right in your pocket versus a newspaper is big, is bulky. It's not really, you know, it's only but so portable. So newspapers are dying. Old school media is dying. The button-up shirt type stuff, that's going by the way of the dodo bird. They're trying to put people in there right now on CNN, like Chris Khaleesi, I think his name is. He does like digital media stuff, but it ain't the same. It does not feel organic. It does not feel natural. People are looking more towards guys in their living room, on their couch, in the kitchen or whatever. Shout out to Mark Dice, just talking about the news in a common sense kind of way. And if they want more button-up stuff, they go to like, what's that, OANN, stuff like that. Maybe even the Blaze, CRTV, stuff. That's where they're going. They're not going to the old school media. It is what it is. But let me see. What else we got here on the docket for tonight? Oh, Pelosi versus AOC. Oh man, this is really big, actually. It's much bigger than just Nancy Pelosi versus Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Much bigger than that, because now you have the entire Democratic Party on board. I'm seeing things. They're talking about AOC as a fraud. She's a trust fund baby. All the folks in Justice Democrats are trust fund babies. That's how they got there. They got funding from their parents. They're losers. They're nobodies. All this and that. Nancy Pelosi said it. She was like, look, you only have just yourself and like 4 people. Get the votes on the floor, then come holler at me. Okay, because the squad, the quote-unquote squad, which is AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and Ayanna Pressley, they are all kind of like voting together, doing certain things together, trying to be the radical arm of the Democratic Party. But they don't have enough support within the Democratic Party in the House or the Senate. It's just them 4. So they have a lot of support in the media and social media as well. But what about in the actual Democratic Party? Not so much. Now, the thing is, the squad, talking about them, they may be able to shape narratives in the media, which forces the Democratic Party to react. But when it comes down to voting, it's going to be different, you know, because you only got them 4 votes and that's it. A thing that the media wants to press, and some of the public that are kind of sheep, just led anywhere on the left, they may want to address it as well. But if the Democrats in the House ain't going to do it, what you going to do? The Congressional Black Chamber Commerce, I think that's what it's called, CBC, Congressional Black Caucus, whatever. They have sided with Nancy Pelosi over the so-called squad. You know, it don't matter if you got 2 black women in it, Ilhan Omar and Ayanna Pressley. It don't matter. They got their own establishment going. So how you really going to fight against that? So what you may end up with is a fractured Democratic Party, although most people are not on the side of the squad. It may become fractured because of the social pressure that these 4 individuals are placing on the Democratic Party. Personally, I like it. I like it right now, especially during election time. Okay. I want to see people publicly protest the nominee when we're on the campaign trail. I want to see that. I want to see public protest from within the Democratic Party. It's like somebody getting married and then the pastor says, if anybody object, state your peace right now or forever hold your peace. Here comes AOC. I don't want Cory Booker to be the president. And then that's happening right now all over television. How is that going to play out? It'll just work well for us. It'll cause them to go into a panic, go into a frenzy from a PR standpoint. Meanwhile, we over here with the whole team just rallied together, riding along smoothly and silently to the finish line. So I like it. I really enjoy the division in the Democratic Party. And hopefully it just totally collapsed pretty soon here. And maybe something else forms as a result that could be better than what's happening right now. But I don't think that is the case. I think he may end up having the more radical wing. But only time's going to tell, really. We'll see. And yes, R.I.P. Ross Perot. He passed away a few days ago. I think he was in his 90s. I'm not quite sure how old he was. 94, 95. I'm not really sure. But he was up there in age. You know, so R.I.P. Ross Perot. And what else we got? Oh, R. Kelly being arrested finally. They said they have a bunch of tapes of children engaged in illicit acts. Said like 20 tapes, and they were able to get these tapes through his enablers, quote unquote enablers. I say it's about time. We've all known about R. Kelly for a long time. If you are interested in R&B music and you've been in that scene and you've been following it, you've been knowing about this for a long time. Okay, 89. Okay, that's how old Ross Perot was. Thank y'all for that fact checking right quick. But yeah, R. Kelly has been this way for a long time. He was married to the singer Aaliyah when she was 15 years old and he was 27. They forged a marriage document to say that she was 18 in, what was that, Cook County, Illinois, where R. Kelly is from, Chicago. And her parents found out and had the whole thing annulled shortly thereafter. Now, the rumor was that he got Aaliyah pregnant when she was 14 and tried to hide it by getting married. I mean, cold retard move, because how you going to hide that by getting married to her? Like, they're going to find that out, and she's still 15. You can't just change her age. Like, don't nobody know when she was born. Don't nobody know her birthday. Like, she don't have parents or family. But I digress. Now, it's interesting that you have him being arrested right now because Jeffrey Epstein just got arrested too. And one of R. Kelly's cases with multiple charges, I think it's like 5 charges, racketeering, human trafficking, this, that, and the third. One of the cases that is against him is out of Brooklyn, New York. Jeffrey Epstein also has a New York case on his back. I think right now he's in Manhattan Correctional Center, MCC for short. So R. Kelly and Epstein could be roommates. Epstein could have told on R. Kelly, or it could have been the other way around. Who knows? But it's pretty, interesting that we have this thing happening right now. Jeffrey Epstein is trying to get a bail package to the tune of $77 million, but he's still in jail awaiting his trial. He's not been released yet. He will probably be remanded because he's a high flight risk. He has a bunch of money in a private jet, so he can just zoom on off to wherever he wants and never be seen from again. Like Roman Polanski, he did the same exact thing. He was accused of sexual assault on a child. He just left. I think he went to Poland or somewhere. He's been gone ever since because you can't extradite him from that particular country, or that country will not extradite him from there. I think that's pretty much how it is wherever you are in the world. It's hard to get extradited from a country. Sometimes you might not even get sent to a different state in America. If you're in California, you see what's happening right now with the whole ICE situation. I would not be surprised if California resisted ICE's attempt to extradite somebody to a different state, because they don't want to cooperate with them. So I would not be surprised if they did not want to release a person to a different state or to a different country if they're resisting immigration enforcement orders. If you need to be deported, it's like, nah, we don't want to do that. Let's keep him here. Meanwhile, you got a bunch of illegal murderers, rapists, robbers, thieves wreaking havoc. There's going to be an ICE raid coming up, I think, this Sunday? I can't wait. Now, I'm kind of upset that it got leaked. What I want to do is have the ICE raids happen just surprise. It's like you be in there sauteing some beef in a restaurant, just sauteing your hind parts off. All of a sudden, auto, vamos, and everybody's on the truck going back to wherever they came from. That's what I want to see. Okay, I don't want to have this whole thing. Oh well, here's a warning, escape. Nah, stay where you are, and we'll just come to you by surprise. People are getting offended at the deportation orders, talking about, oh well, it's not a crime to be here illegally. And shout out to, I think his name is Thomas Homan. I think he's the former acting ICE director. He may be the ICE director coming up soon here. Sometimes these titles get kind of confusing, but anyway, I think he was the former director of ICE. He was testifying before Congress, and he wrecked everybody up there. Wrecked them. AOC tried to, get him on a few things. And she was like, well, it's not illegal to seek asylum in the country. It's like, look, well, it's illegal to be here illegally. If you want to seek asylum, go to the port of entry and do so legally. How about that? If you're here illegally, that's the first strike. If you're also a criminal alien, that's strike number 2. You got to get sent back. Nobody's going to protest a person that is a citizen getting locked up for whatever they have done. Okay, if you want it on the warrant of beating your wife, abusing kids, you blew up a meth lab in somebody's apartment and everybody's house burned down and the baby died, Ain't nobody going to say, oh, don't lock them up. They got kids. They can't be separated from their family. Nobody's going to say that. But since you have illegal aliens doing these things, all of a sudden it's, oh, you can't do that. It's inhumane, all this, that, and the third. And drinking from toilet water, retarded stuff. It's like these people on the left care more about the illegal aliens, Democrats, than they do us, the American citizens. Imagine that. But hey, that's why they're losing so much ground, especially nationally. That's why I predict it's going to be a landslide in 2020. Now, it may not be Walter Mondale because the country has changed. Some people are going to be stomped down in their beliefs, but nobody has a chance of winning. Hillary Clinton was much stronger than anybody that's out there right now in the Democratic Party, and she lost, okay? Got them hind parts smacked because she couldn't win enough of the states in the country. She won big city areas, so she won by the popular vote, but that's not how elections run in this country. We are not a democracy. We are a republic, and these rules in the republic help the country run effectively. The founding fathers knew that you couldn't have a direct democracy. 51% of the country says X, 49% just out of luck. And if the 51% lives in one state where it benefits them and the 49 live everywhere else, it's just unfair for that to happen like that. So the Electoral College and the way we do business and the checks and balances and the branches of government are ingenious, quite frankly, and they shouldn't really be tampered with because the founding fathers understood what it took to have a nation be governed effectively. So shout out to the founding fathers. And now they're trying to get rid of, I saw Ted Cruz and he was talking about Bill Lee because Bill Lee signed a proclamation that is in law and been in law for a long time that recognizes certain holidays. I think it's a Confederate Day we have here. And also Abraham Lincoln. It's like 6 holidays. He's saying that we should just change the law to remove Nathan Bedford Forrest. But once you start doing that, then it's like, okay, who else gets removed? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, who else? No, pardon me, I got some food. But yeah, we don't want to have that type of, you don't want to have history be rewritten in this country. Not at all. But Democrats is what they want to do. All right, so, and ADOS. Yes, ADOS. Thank you, Mark G. I'm going to talk about ADOS real quick before we get to the calls. Now, I did my video about ADOS because people that kept asking me about it. They said, hey, man, I never seen you do a video about ADOS. Why haven't you spoken about it? What's your take on ADOS? Now, if you don't know what ADOS is, it's an acronym that stands for American Descendants of Slaves. It's a movement that I see a lot online. It's black folks coming together that claim to be descendant directly from slaves in what is now the United States. And they are lobbying for particular things that affect them. The main thing is reparations. That's their main goal, is to get reparations. Now, reparations I'm not for. I don't like that part of it, but I think some people are identifying as this for other reasons. I like the feeling of patriotism from this. You got black folks becoming more American rather than just saying, oh, I want to go back to Africa. I'm African American. Nah, ain't no African American. It ain't no African nothing. I'm not an African. I've never been to Africa. I don't have any Africans in my family. I'm not African. I'm born in America, raised in America. I'm American. Even if I were the descendants, like even if I had African parents, I would not be African. If I was born here, I'd be an American. See, the thing about America, it's uniquely a place where you're able to become a nationality without being a certain ethnic group. You understand? Like if you go to China and you move there, you're not Chinese by moving there, or you're not Chinese by being born there. That's not how it works. You got to be ethnic Chinese, just like Japan the same way. You got to be ethnic Japanese, okay? You can't just be like, all right, I'm a white guy or a black guy, and I take my family to Japan, a child is born in Japanese. That's not really how that works. Technically, it could be, but not really, because it's more of an ethnic thing too, but I'll move on. So the whole ADOS movement, I like it because you got black folks shedding this whole separatist label of African American and becoming American first. as all of us in the country should be. America first. I'm America first. Everybody that's a citizen in America should be America first. I don't like it because of reparations. That's the main thing. I don't like that part. I also don't like people that are using it to divide. They're saying, since you're not a descendant of slaves in America, then your opinion doesn't count. Okay. So let's say somebody black has a grandma that came from Jamaica, or they came from Senegal, or they came from somewhere else that's not the United States or what is today the U.S. Their opinion would not be accepted as valid because of that. You're not ADOS, you don't count. I don't like that. I don't like how the phrase or the movement is being used to divide. I don't like division. I'm all about unity. So if the movement could focus on just having black folks identify more with Americans and shutting all the separatist language and becoming more unified with society, I'm with that 100%. But if it's used to divide and separate, I don't like that. So that's pretty much my opinion on ADOS, if anybody was wondering. And if you've not seen that video, it's on the channel. Check it out whenever you get a chance. Okay. Now, hold on. Let me see this. I'm reading this right quick. Somebody says... Hold up. Somebody says, you're not for reparation, but the slave owner received $300 for each slave he released. Can't wait to see your reaction, and you know you won't respond. Well, if that's true, which I don't know if it is or not, I mean, hey, what are you going to do about that now? You know, all the people that were involved in that situation, as far as the slave owner and the slave, are now deceased. So what are you going to do? I mean, if you're going to hand that out, the money would come from the federal government. Now, I don't know about you, sir or ma'am. I don't know your gender or whatever. I ain't trying to assume it. But I don't know about you, but I pay taxes. I write the IRS a check every 3 months. So, I mean, I'm going to get my own money back to me. And then how do we figure out who is actually the person that would get the money? You know, DNA tests, like, how are you going to really figure it out? And most blacks in America are mixed with white. Even just to a little bit. I would say the average black person is about 80% African DNA, not 100%. So where's the other 20% coming from? White people, native people, and more. So I don't understand if the whole thing about ADOS is that you got to have both of your family trees go back to slavery. What if you have a random white guy just in the family tree hanging out, chilling, drinking lemonade? What you going to do with that? And what if you were descendant of a black slave owner? It's so many what ifs. It's so many variables. It does not make sense to even pursue it. Even if the variables weren't there, we're still too far away from it. You can't identify the people that were actually involved. So it's just not a thing that makes any sense. But I'll move right along. Hopefully that answered your question, and I did answer it for you. All right, let's get to the calls. You guys on the drill. Hopefully my Skype does not act up. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to get in through Skype, there is an email right in the description box. You can be right here in the bottom of the screen, the bottom left-hand corner. And let me see. I think I got everything I wanted to get. Oh, super chats right quick. Hold on before I get to the calls. Yeah, there's no... It's really weird. It's really rare to find a black person that's 100% black in America that's been here for a long time. It's just, you know, it's just not a real thing. Thank you to Duchess Nancy Ann for the donation. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to Daniel Corica, who says, cool channel. Here's some shekels. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you to Jonestown Autopsy, who says the Times of Judah magazine is reporting that the black Hebrew Israelites are endorsing Pete Buttigieg for president. Hey, that'd be hilarious if they were. Shout out to Buttigieg. Luciano, thank you for your donation. They say, I saw a YouTube channel of someone explaining that there was a leak of back and forth text messages of Colin Kaepernick and Ilhan Omar. Any thoughts? I've not seen that. But I would not be surprised if they're texting, because Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend is on Hot 97. Her name is Nessa. She is a Muslim. So Ilhan Omar and Nessa may have a relationship. So Kaepernick may know Ilhan Omar through Nessa or on his own. I'm not really sure. But there is a Muslim connection there. Now, I need to see what the text messages say, allegedly, before I even make a comment on it. Because right now, I don't know what's going on. Thank you to Chris Grubin, who says, a lot of stuff to do. Sorry, can't stay. Trump 2020. Hey, thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you for sure. He also says, those four are the leftist bunch without the heart. Exactly. You're talking about the squad. And if you don't know, anybody out there listening, the squad is AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. What is her name anyway? Is it Tlaib or Tlaib? It's spelled Tlaib. Now, I'm not, LeVar Burton or Reading Rainbow, but that spells Tlaib, not Tlaib. But I digress. And also Ayanna Pressley. That's a squad right there. And they are the liberal bunch that's trying to rile things up in Washington, D.C. But let me get to my next donation. Thank you to Jonestown Autopsy, who says, old media be like, why won't police paint? Okay, already read that one. Thank you to Will Chase for your donations. And I'm going way back too far. Talweeb, is that it? Talib? I don't know what her name is, really. All right, let me go ahead and get to the calls. Thank y'all for joining. Again, most certainly appreciate it. Please like the video. If you've not liked the video already, the likes are free. Sharing it is free. And if you are a first-time viewer, please subscribe. And thank you all again for allowing me to get to 300,000 subscribers. It means the world to me. YouTube has changed my life. Hopefully, it has impacted yours at least a little bit. I appreciate y'all for being here with 1,000% of my heart. But let me get to the calls. Again, the number to call is right there on the bottom of the screen. It's 434-658-1220. And of course, Skype wants to install itself again. That's funny. But we'll get to the calls in a moment. All righty. Let's go ahead and get her to it. Okay. I think I had a call right there, but I was too... Okay. Are my calls not working? There we go. All right, caller, you on line 347.
Joshua Prize.
What's going on, Joshua?
I'm not much Anthony from Logan.
All right, what's on your mind, boss?
Have you seen on the House Democrats tweet?
Oh yeah, I saw that. I did. I think I retweeted that too. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm put it on the screen for anybody that's out there watching, because that was crazy.
It was.
Yeah. So here's a tweet, and let me see if I can put it on the screen. Now this was in response to somebody. This guy's name is Saikat Chakrabarti. He says, I think the point still stands. I don't think people have to be personally racist to enable a racist system. And the same could be even said to the Southern Democrats. I don't believe Sharice is a racist person, but her votes are showing her to enable a racist system. And then the House Democrats, the official page of the House Democrats, like the check mark, the blue check, all that, with almost 1 million followers, says, who is this guy and why is he explicitly singling out a Native American woman of color? Now, pause right there. Now, this guy, Saikat Chakrabarti, is an actual red dot Indian, so he's a person of color too, but I digress. They go on to say her name is Congresswoman Davids, not Sharice. She is a phenomenal new member who flipped a red seat blue. Keep her name out of your mouth. I'm like, what in the what where am I? Like, what's going on here?
They're fighting each other.
Hey, but you know what? I like it. I love it, really.
Yeah. Like, even some liberals are like, what the heck is going on? Why is this Democrat Party? Red Simmons is Timbo and Seth MacFarlane. It's been about this tweet.
Hey, I mean, these people are crazy.
And the media is probably calling alt-right after this.
I mean, see, this is what I was saying earlier. People like AOC and the squad, her people, Ilhan Omar and all them, they don't have a lot of power when it comes to voting, but they're influencing the Democratic Party to do this far leftist, ridiculous stuff. This is like a 12-year-old talking on Twitter to their parents, not a professional thing. This is from the House Democrats, and they're doing this. But you know what? The people that run this page are probably those that admire the Ilhan Omars. I don't think that Nancy Pelosi is running this Twitter page. You understand what I mean?
Right. Absolutely right. This is why I seen a Trump landslide in 2020. Like, because, like, there are two different parties now. There are ones for the corporate Democrats, like Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and the ones for the far left, like the Squad, with AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Presley, and that other crazy woman from Michigan. It's like you are ignoring your own, like, the moderates, basically. Like, here's what I see what's going to happen in 2020 for the Democrats. Some of the moderates are going to vote for Donald Trump, and some of the moderates are going to vote for, like, Howard Schultz. In the middle, they're probably going to vote in their base, they're probably going to vote either way. For example, the far-left progressive Democrats. So that's why Trump is going to destroy, like, Kamala Harris or Joe Biden won in 2020. They had no candidate against Trump. The woman that said last month during the debates, you can't defeat Trump with policy. You can't. And heck, they don't have no policy. They're for illegal immigration.
Nah, they really don't have too much. They don't really have anything except for Orange Man Bad. That's their general thing that they're trying to run with, and that's not really going to work when you're talking about the 2020 election. There's so much support for Trump. So many people are energized for Trump, and some people,
exactly.
And some people are not necessarily that energized for Trump. They're more non-energized for the Democratic Party, so they can't really get over that, in my opinion.
Right. Absolutely. It's just that how the Democratic Party has become. They're not what they used to be in the 2000s to early to mid 2010s. They're fringe, basically now.
Hey.
And another thing I want to talk about is the whole craziness at the White House social media summit.
Yeah.
The media is no longer the media. The media, what it is now, are basically Alyssa Milano comparing Pence to Nazis. There are activists, political activists now. They don't. Majority of them don't speak the truth anymore. They only care for their own political agenda. That's why CNN is dying. They're getting beat by a home improvement channel. They're getting beat by Discovery Channel.
Yeah, they're getting beat by reruns of Home Improvement back in the. They're not resonating with anybody. It's just not a thing people want to watch anymore. They know it's fake. And it gets to be kind of monotonous because how many times can you say Orange Man Bad and make it be unique each time you say it? It's very difficult to do that.
Right. Like, you keep saying Orange Man Bad, Orange Man Bad, Orange Man Bad. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to get sick and tired of it. It's like, it's getting old. Like, you're just being a dead horse. It's almost the 2020 election, and they're still pissed off at the 2016 election. Like get over it.
They got to get over it because Trump ain't going nowhere. You're not going to be able to get him out of office. I mean, he got elected fair and square. You got to be able to hold that L and deal with it the best way you can.
Right.
All righty, but
and a couple of things I want to talk about.
I got time for one more thing. I got to my next call after that.
All right. Have you heard of Red Eagle politics?
You said it one more time.
Red Eagle politics.
No, I haven't.
He's a great channel. He does election predictions and some license. He did also today a great election 2020 video. I love it. You should definitely watch it and subscribe to him and peace out.
Now thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Definitely appreciate you too.
All right, now peace.
Peace.
I'm sorry for the ring at the end. I wish Microsoft would just listen to me. If they could just hear my plea, they could hear my cry. to get the ring fixed so I can just permanently disable it from being on. I got to go into the settings, do all kind of stuff, but I'm gonna just go ahead and fix that and get back to it. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Thank you to Deplorable D, who says, keep up the good work, ABL. I appreciate you 1,000%. All righty, let me get to my next call here. Let's go to 619. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, you're speaking to Sharon in San Diego, California. How are you doing, Anthony?
I'm well. I can't complain.
I love your show. My husband and I both love your show. I really admire you because you're very intelligent and you're very good at analyzing information. Now, I've been watching, I didn't watch the debates, but I realized that there are so many candidates in the debate that field had to be narrowed. So the field is narrowed because of several reasons. Some of the people, we've never heard of their names, so therefore they don't have name recognition. And perhaps they just might be trying to work for a possible spot in a Democratic administration if the Democrats win. Secondly, some of the people, that are there, they have a kind of shaky reputation, so folks kind of shy away from them. But on the other side, with the Republicans, I don't really hear a lot of who is going to be left that can viably beat Donald Trump. So we're going to go back through the hashtag Biden again. But I do not hear Michelle Obama. I have not heard her name. And it's like she's in the shadows, in the background. I noticed about a month ago when her book came out, never heard of her book, but I saw a little snippet on the Drudge Report about how many copies she was selling. Secondly, I see her again on the Drudge Report. A little article about her here, a little article about her there. They're starting to market her on the down low. I don't know how many Republicans are looking at this, listening to this, but this is a person that the Democrats could bring to run as a vice presidential nominee because she's a twofer. She's she's African American, and she's a woman. And if something were to happen to Biden, she would be el presidente. So I'm just putting it out there. I want people to stop and kind of think about it because remember, Obama's in the background all the time, never going anywhere. He advises her all the time. So I would say to watch and listen for Michelle Obama to see how people bring her out a little at a time, because she would be a problem for Donald Trump being on the ticket, not by herself, but with Biden. She would be a formidable foe for Donald Trump. And this is why I'm saying to the Republicans, get a heads up. Look at her, even though you're not looking at her. If you're going to strategize, be coming up with the what if. What if they bring her out here? That means that will bring a lot of African Americans that are pissed off at the Democrats. That brings us back in up under the umbrella, because we already have reparations out there. So we're kind of, people are kind of getting our ear with the reparations discussion. But you bring her back in, and guess what? It's on. It's going to be on. So I'm serious. Every time I listen to when they're talking about the candidates and Biden's not looking well, Buttigieg, he doesn't have a chance. Who cares? Who cares about Elizabeth Warren? Kamala is dead. She doesn't stand a chance. So when we're going through all of this, who's left? Who's left to be coupled with Biden? Common sense almost tells you who's left to be with him. Who is it? Michelle is the one. Trust me. That's the plan, Anthony. And you heard it first from San Diego, California. You heard it. I'm serious, Anthony. You heard it first from Sharon in San Diego. Because I'm waiting. I'm listening. Is anybody going to mention Michelle? She's in the wings. She's coming out a little here. She's giving a quote here, like we care about her quotes, because a lot of people don't. But she's on the Drudge Report giving us an analysis of how she feels about having sex with older couples, making love. Who cares? But why is she there? Why are they feeding us a little at a time to get us accustomed to her coming back into the room like she never left? But now she's coming back into the room. Trust me, she is the one. And you heard it first from San Diego, Anthony. I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but thank you so much for listening to me. You're a very good listener.
Well,
and you analyze them. Yeah, you do. You analyze information, and you're constantly thinking, and you're piecing things together. And in order to be effective, and you're very good at what you do, in order to be effective at that, you have to be a good listener. Plus, you also have to be able to analyze and give that information back to your listener. So at this point, I'm going to say peace, as you say. Thanks so much, Anthony, and have a great day, and thanks for listening to me.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Sure, Anthony. Bye.
All right, great call. Now, I will say that I predicted that it would be Michelle Obama and Oprah. Oprah as a president, Michelle as a vice president. Well, I didn't predict that it would be. I said that would be the best chance that the Democrats have. I mean, it'd be an easy win. Not easy win. It'd be an easy win to get the nomination, not to win the actual presidency. They would still get beat, but it'll be the best chance they have to fight against them. Like Mike Tyson during his prime was pretty much undefeatable, right? Back in the late 80s or whatever. But there were certain guys you could put in there that at least put up a fight. And then you had tomato cans, what they call them back in the day. Guys that you would put in the ring with Mike Tyson, knowing they had no chance of beating them, but you put him in the ring anyway. Okay, put this guy off the street that just got done smoking crack like yesterday, he get knocked out instantly. But a Buster Douglas, somebody, could catch him, Now, of course, Mike lost to Buster, but if Mike was on his game and on top and really in his prime like the way he was supposed to be, he wouldn't have lost. And I think Oprah and Michelle would be that 1-2 punch that'll give him the most competition. They would still lose, though. Fortunately for us, but unfortunately for them, they're trying to do things their way in the Democratic Party. They're trying to give you Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, those that they have been grooming for a while. They try to give you those people, but it's not going to work. And I don't understand why they don't want to, I don't really care why they don't want to do what I would say, because all it does is helps us win. So I say Democratic Party, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing because it helps us to actually get the nomination, secure, and defeat you, whoever you win in there. Whoever you put in there, we're going to defeat. That's pretty much what it's going to be. But let me get to my next call. 215, you on the line, I'm speaking to.
Carlotta.
You said what now?
Carlotta.
All right, now, do me a favor, turn speakers on the background for me, please.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, so what's on your mind?
This is Anthony.
You're speaking to him right now. You're live on the air.
Okay. Hi, how are you doing? I love your show. Oh, I wanted to clarify. You had a question about Kamala Harris's father's ethnicity. His father is white. They got to Jamaica because they migrated to Jamaica. So they were slave owners.
Well, her father is not the white guy. It was her father's ancestor, like her great grandfather or something like that.
But his father, Donna Harris' father, is white.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're right. That's why you say you look at his face, he don't look like 100% black person. She said Jamaica because most people think Jamaica, dreadlocks, dark skin, islander. But there are a lot of people, like you said, just like America, that are Jamaicans, that are natural-born Jamaicans. You have Chinese, Asian, European whites, and Indians that all live in Jamaica. So if he's born in Jamaica, he's going to be a Jamaican, but not a Jamaica that doesn't have privilege, because the Indians there lived in their own little area. See, Kamala Harris's mother is a Brahmin caste, which is the elite highest caste Indian in India. So it's not like she was some poor person struggling for her rights. The school that she immigrated to was already integrated. The shape she was bused to, it was already integrated. She just went to the elementary school. And then their parents divorced. They moved to Canada. But basically, she spent most of her life being assimilated in Canada as a Canadian. And they did their summers in India. So it's not like you have some person fighting and when she was like the first black kid to go into a school and you have people yelling at her, doing stuff and harassing her. It was not even that scene. She tried to paint it that way, but it wasn't so.
Right.
So I just want to let you know that she's just lying. Because, see, when she runs for president, she had to look at a group of people that she can grab onto. There's not that many Indians living in the United States. That would be a smaller group. So she tries to pull the race card and claim that, oh, well, I'm from Jamaica, right? So most people don't think that you have all these different ethnicities. In Jamaica, they think, oh, Black Islander, but it's not. Because you can look at her father and you can see that it clearly is not that. So she is just looking to get elected president. But way before that, all the Indian news media was giving her credit for being the first Indian American to do this and to do that.
That's right.
And she never denied it. She never denied it.
No, she didn't.
She took all the credit for that. As soon as she runs for president, now she's black.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it's a fraud. It's a scam. The whole thing is. It's to try to get her in. She couldn't get in as being an Indian. So they go for, well, what can we use? Oh, well, she's black. Okay, her father is Jamaican. That's because they lived in Jamaica. I mean, you have a white European living in Jamaica, but they're not black.
Right. People, they hear Jamaican and think automatically black, but it's a country like anywhere else. Yeah.
Exactly what she was going for, the ignorance of most people. And that's why she keeps touting that right. Black thing. But right. She's not black. You look at her and her husband, and she never said that she was black. I thought it was a joke initially because she looked just, her and her husband the same exact complexion.
Right.
She looks like a white woman if you really wanted to be honest. And if she said she had some black people in her family, nobody would have ever known.
That's right.
So that's what I wanted to clarify that when you were talking about, you questioned the father's heritage because her grandfather is a white man. So well, there you go.
There it is.
Do you believe that a Brahmin caste Indian would have married a black slave in Jamaica?
Absolutely not. No way.
So that's why he came from money, and he's high up. They don't live with the poor blacks in poverty down there in Jamaica. They live separate.
Right.
In fact, I wish I had the name of that video that this Jamaican lady put out. How they said they don't claim Kamala as being. Kamala didn't grow up in Jamaica. I don't believe she's ever even been to Jamaica.
Well, I probably
rich, high class people. She did her summers in India. I mean, what normal black person does their summers in India?
That's not even a thing. That's not where we're gonna go. Oh, let's go to a summer in India. No, you're going to a summer in India because you're visiting your family.
Exactly, because that's where she was raised. The mother raised her. Her Brahmin mother raised her. Basically, she's been estranged from her father for years.
Right.
But they divorced when she was young. So basically, she doesn't even understand what it is to be ADOS because she doesn't even understand the culture. Because she was assimilated as a Canadian and as an Indian of a highest caste system in India. And I bet you look at her identification, if she has the option of checking black or white on a form, I bet it's checked white. And do you believe that her Brahmin mother checked black?
Nah, not at all.
No, exactly. Like I said, it's all a sham.
Exactly.
You know, and then if he says anything against it, they want to jump out and attack the person. Oh, you're racist, racist, you're racist. But actually, Donald Trump's son was actually telling the truth. She's going to try to steal other people's story that actually had the real black struggle in this country. She has no one that's been a slave in her family, but she had enslaved people, a history of that in her family somewhere. Now, isn't that crazy? Now she wants to be black. That's like you have a Ku Klux Klan person, now they're going to run as being a black candidate. I mean, that's ridiculous. But like I said, there's not that many Indians in the U.S., so she has to identify. Plus, what's the likelihood that somebody's going to vote an Indian in for president that really didn't live in the American culture and that was assimilated in Canada?
Yeah, like it's better for her to just try to say she's black. Just like Mindy Kaling, her brother got into a black college by pretending to be black. And they both from the Indian subcontinent. This happened to be dark skinned. He shaved his hair off so you couldn't see the silky wavy hair and pretended to be black to get into a college and on a scholarship, you know, on the low. That's kind of how this whole thing is. But this has been a good call, but I got to get to a few more on the line. So thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Great. Take care. Bye.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I think her mother may have encouraged her to be black in certain situations. You know, maybe not at home, but when you out there in the world and you trying to, you know, get your politic game going on, it's beneficial to be black because you get a leg up. You're not Asian. You know, Asians right now are suing Harvard University because of discrimination, but in the black suing because of discrimination, not being able to get in because of their race, they're letting a lot of black folks in that should not really be in those particular schools. And the picture I was showing you right here, that's Kamala Harris and her stepchildren. I heard today from somebody that they call her Mamala. Mamala. That's Mamala right there. Now, come on. Like, let's be for real. Do you see a black person? I don't know. Light skin maybe, yes, but no. Kamala Harris is at best like quarter black, at best. If her grandfather is white, her dad has to be 50% black at the most. So that'll make her 25% black at the most. I'm thinking probably like 15 to 20. I see some black features, but mostly I see the Indian subcontinent and white. It is what it is. If anything, I would say Kamala Harris is mixed, and that's okay. Some people are biracial, some people are mixed, and that's fine. Because you shouldn't have to pick between your mom and your dad or whatever. Just say you mix, and that's okay. But let's get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And let me go ahead and get to this one here. All right. 916 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. It's Charlotte.
All righty. What's going on?
Hi. I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. I know it's been a while. The couple of things I want to talk about was Antifa with Andy No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Epstein and that scandal.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Did you see any of like Andy No's like recent interviews, like with Dave Rubin or anyone?
Yeah, I did see some of that. I saw some of the Rubin interview. I also saw some of the Joe Rogan interview.
Yeah, it was interesting what he was saying because you know how people like to label. I found like I could really relate to him because you maybe have one viewpoint one place and another at another area. You know, they just want to label you Democrat or Republican. And I really liked his comment where he said, well, this is what I'll give you. You know, my parents, fled communist Vietnam, to have a better life in this country. And that's, what I'm grateful for, And people here who think that communism and socialism is so great have no idea what they're talking about. They haven't lived it. They have no idea what that really means,
Right.
And
Right.
I just found that, and I found that really, good for the people to hear because I feel like the left media and mainstream media and just everyone these days is romanticizing Marxism and socialism like it's some, novel idea, like it's some great plan that should come into fruition. It's like, have we not seen what has happened multiple times in other places?
Absolutely. I mean, so we should be, understanding how these things are going to play out. But some people act like, oh, it wasn't done properly yet. It's not the same. But people need to just study history and understand that it can repeat itself.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is that I'm just so, disappointed in Portland. I know Portland pretty well. I visited Portland many times. I've lived there many times. And, I know how crazy liberal they are, but I never thought that, the mayor and the police would treat him this way after being attacked the way he was. And, he was describing, too, that after, the SWAT medics came to assess him in that video clip, they told him to walk back through that crowd, that same crowd that attacked him, to get to the ambulance.
Yeah, that was crazy. It didn't make any sense to me. It's like, okay, he's telling you just to get attacked by these same people, and you're telling them, okay, go right back through there, so you may get attacked again, and there's no protection. Yeah. I heard that there was like a stand down order. The police were just told to not really interfere. Matter of fact, I heard Andy No say that they told him that they're not supposed to respond really, because if they do, that'll set the crowd off and make it worse.
Yes. And then the other thing I found interesting too is that the mayor, Wheeler, right? That's his name? Jerry Wheeler or something?
Yes.
The mayor of Portland? Yeah. So he's also the police commissioner as well.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. I guess it's like some kind of old rule they have. It's like it's an old rule that they haven't changed. Obviously very convenient for him. So I found that really interesting too. But anyway, I find it, really appalling, and I just want people to, stand up for incidences like this and say, no, we're not going to tolerate violence of any kind just because, you're a journalist or you're just walking down the street. That's unacceptable, Right.
So, yeah. And then Jeffrey Epstein. So I remember when I was like, a teenager, his whole scandal, going on. But then, like, out of nowhere, he just vanished, and then, like, nobody reported on him anymore. Like, he just stopped, and I always found that weird. And then now all of a sudden it's a big deal again. And then R. Kelly. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but I don't really believe in coincidences. I think there's something there. Maybe he said something to the feds or something about R. Kelly.
I believe so, because, these guys have a lot of money. A lot of times they roll in the same circle, especially if they're doing stuff like that. If they're engaging in the abuse of children, they probably know each other. It's a tight network. And I think what happened is that the guy is trying to get out of the jail. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name that's locked up from Florida? I forgot his name right now. I had a little bit of a brain fog. Not R. Kelly, but the other person.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but anyway, that guy got locked up, so he may have told on R. Kelly to try and get a lighter, because right now he's trying to get bail. He's still in Manhattan Correctional Center, which is the federal jail in New York, before he goes to the federal penitentiary if he gets convicted. So they're trying to work on the bail package. It's like $77 million in that bail package. There may be some extra incentive for him to get out if he tells on others, if there's any kind of credible evidence that is given. So that could be it. I don't really know. But see, at the same time, there was also a case with R. Kelly that was happening before this guy got locked up in Chicago, the local case. So I don't know. Yeah. Epstein, that's his name. Epstein.
Right. Yes, Epstein. Yeah. And so, have you ever? Do you ever watch this new channel? It's American Thought Leaders. Have you ever heard of them on YouTube?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so they're very professional. They're very good. They do these really in-depth interviews with these people that really work hard, do a lot of research on, uprooting the corruption that's in Washington, D.C. right now. And there's this one guy, I forget his name, but he has a book called Obstruction of Justice. And it's about, the guy that that worked for the Congressman Hassan and then stole all the data and then like got arrested and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote a book about him and another guy, a Pakistani, who worked for another Democratic rep, I think Ilran Asani or something. And he was talking about during the 2016 election when both the Democrats and Republicans under Paul Ryan found out about what was going on, how they were stealing data and money and social security numbers and people's private information, that they would actually protect these people and allow them to keep scamming, until 2016 election was over, just so that, Hillary Clinton could win.
Wow. Not surprising at all.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much corruption that happens, especially when you're talking about D.C., just that area, all that money. I think that's probably the richest area in the country is the D.C. area.
Right.
And there's no real industry
Right.
there aside from the government. I've been there many times. I lived in Virginia. I know what it is. Once you get to like Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is like 90 miles south of D.C., everything changes. It just looks like a whole different world that you're in. And all that money comes from the federal government. It's a lot of legitimate, money that's going to people that live out there. But it's also illegitimate money or money that's semi-illegitimate. So that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah. And then the Capitol Police, when they raided the guy's house, did just a really poor job. When they raided his house, they didn't even look at the USB, holders on the computer, to see where he's, getting his information. And then they didn't even bother to look in the oven where he hid his stuff. They didn't even do a thorough check. So even though he was arrested, he was still taking people's information in jail.
Right. That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just, people should really read this guy's book, Obstruction of Justice. It's really good. It goes really, really into depth about this corruption scandal. He said he's calling it the biggest corruption scandal in America's history. That's how big it is. So people should read his book. It's called Obstruction of Justice. Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay, ABL. Thank you. And congratulations on 300,000 subscribers. That's a big deal. So congratulations.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the call as well. Most certainly appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Great call. And thank you all for being here. If you've not hit the thumbs up button yet, please do so. The likes are free. The sharing it is free. And if you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for letting me get to 300,000 subscribers. It means the world to me. But shout out to Super Chatters right quick before I get to my next call. Thank you to Truth Seeker for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Brown Foxy for your donation. Appreciate you as well. Thank you to Jonestown Autopsy who says these ice cubes are fueled and ready to roll. Alrighty. Thank you to Deplorable D. I read your comment earlier, but I didn't. So you put the donation as 2020. Shout out to you for that. Most certainly appreciate it. Thank you to Theo Jen for your donation. Shout out to Will Redding for the donation who says want equality, end income tax, and be done with it. Oh, excuse me. Hey, that's how I did, but thank you for that. Thank you to Christopher Sansabon who says you should run for Congress. Hey, that could happen in the future. You never know. Thank you to Crush Groovin who says a lot of stuff to do. Sorry, can't stay. Trump 2020. Yeah, I think I got everybody right there. So appreciate you all for donating. Definitely appreciate you. And thank you to everybody that's bought merch as well. If you want these hats, they are in the description box below. And there also should be a carousel right up under the video of products. You can get them from right there. And if you want these flags that are behind me, open the description box. There's a link that says flags. I think it's like a little green check mark beside it. Click right there. It should say bhedesigns.com. Tell them that ABL sent you. Good guy over there. These are handcrafted wood. Fantastic craftsmanship. You're really enjoying for your house, your garage, wherever you want to put them at. They're very good. High quality flags put on your wall. And I got mine custom made. You can get just the same way. Call them, email them and say, hey, I want this on it. I want that on it. You never know. But let me get to my next call. All right, calling you on the line, 617.
Yeah, what's up, ABL? It's me, Ivan, man.
All right, what's going on?
Hey, I was trying to make a donation, but I couldn't do it. I don't know, it didn't work. But anyway, the lady that called concerning about Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Well, what does it matter if she? I mean, it doesn't matter if she because she said that she's claiming that she's black. Now, number one, if you look black, let's say your mother is white and your father is black, and then your features they come from your father. Society out there is going to look at you as a white person, mixed, or as a black person. Explain that to me. Society in the United States of America, how's it going to look at you?
Okay, so what are you talking about?
Kamala Harris.
So you think Kamala Harris looks black?
She is black. She looks black to me.
You say she looks black, so she is black?
I mean, she's black to me. I mean, she's mixed, but she looks black to me.
So if somebody were to call her Indian, would that be accurate?
No, because she doesn't look Indian to me.
Now, so when people call her the first, the first Indian in some kind of position, she never corrected them. She was on Indian shows like that were being broadcast in India, and they were touting her as like the first Indian X, Y, and Z. There was never any kind of correction. She didn't say, "No, I'm black. I'm not Indian."
Well, but if that, I'm not talking about that.
Wait. Hold on, though. You're saying that she's black, and she identifies as black, and she looks black, but you wouldn't say she was Indian. So why would she not correct anybody when they said that she is Indian? When she goes on all these talk shows, hold on. I'm not done with my question. When she's going on all these talk shows, all this stuff on TV and radio and everything else, not just one, not just two, but several interviews. Matter of fact, she got sworn in by Joe Biden as an Indian American. Why was there never any kind of correction there? And all of a sudden now in 2019, she wants to claim black. Can you explain that one?
Well, I don't know why, but let me tell you this.
Okay.
You know the basketball player for the Celtics, I can't remember his very name now. He was traded to, what is his name? One of the best players. He's Indian. I can't remember his name right now. And
an Indian basketball player?
Yeah, it's black, but it came from his ancestor. I guess one of his parents, or no parents, but it's a weird ancestor. He's Indian, but he's black.
Is he an old player? Is he an old player or young player?
No, he's a young player. I can't remember his name. He's from the Celtics. He's a star. I think he might get traded, but he's a star. I can't remember his name, man. I'm from Boston, so I saw him, and he went to the event, and they given all the Indians culture ritual, whatever they do. So we supposed to say, no, I'm not Indian? I mean, you don't make sense.
No, you're a politician, and you're going on these shows. Like, you have to agree to go to these shows. They reach out to you for an interview. You have to agree to go to these shows. They go through your publicist or wherever you got, your agent, your assistant. You have to go to these shows. It's not just one show. It's not just one time where you say, hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done talking. I'm not done talking. It's not just one time where somebody says, oh, you're Indian, you don't correct them. You have to go to these things. They're asking you about your heritage before you even go to this place. You know what they're going to say. So if you don't want to be identified as an Indian, you have the ability to stop it before it even happens. And then she got sworn in by Joe Biden as an Indian. So why did Joe Biden not know that she was not an Indian? Why did Kamala Harris not say anything about her not being Indian? Why is it all of a sudden now she wants to identify as being black? Explain that.
Well, she lives in the United States of America, right? As far as I know, she lives most of the time here, right?
Okay, what's it got to do with you?
When she was here, she was treated as an Indian, or she was treated as a black woman.
I don't know how she was growing up.
What do you think? No, but what do you think? Give me your.
I don't know how she was growing up. I don't
know.
No,
you don't know. You know she was treated as a black woman.
I don't know that. You don't know that either.
Come on.
You don't know that. Like, what are you basing that? What are you basing that on?
Come on, she looks black.
No. Like, you're saying that. Hold on, sir. You're saying she looks black, therefore she was treated as a black woman. You have no idea how she was treated. You did not live her life. You don't know anything about, like you weren't a fly on the wall. You weren't her classmate or schoolmate. You don't know anything about this lady until just now when she's coming out talking. Like, you don't know. You just making an assumption. That's your opinion.
Well, how she? So you think when she was up there, whatever in college and stuff like that, she's like, oh, the Indian girl. You think they say that?
I don't know. All I know was what she said, and she
Well,
identified.
that's what she said,
wait. Wait, sir.
The black thing to win.
All I know,
black people
all I
to
know
her.
was what she said and what she did not say. When she was being sworn in as an Indian, when Joe Biden said she's an Indian, when she was on these talk shows back to back that were being broadcast in India, she was being referred to as an Indian. Now all of a sudden she identifies as black. But never did I hear that before in all those previous interviews and talks and whatnot. There are multiple of them. So I don't know how she was treated in college or anything like that. I was not there. I've not heard from any of her classmates or anything. Neither have you. All I know was what she has done. All I know, sir, not done. You're muted. All I know is that she identified as Indian recently, and that's it. That's all.
Enough. I think you got the picture. That's what I can tell you. You live
What
in
you gotta
America
do with
long
it?
enough.
America is not just one race. What are you talking about? Living in America long enough. You could be Indian and live in America. That's
No,
I'm
but
talking
you don't
about your
understand.
ethnicity.
You know what I'm saying to you. You know
No,
what
I
I'm
don't.
saying to you.
I know
what I'm saying to you.
Indians that live in
And
America.
You could be dark skinned and be Puerto Rican and be treated as a black person. You know that.
That's not the
You could
same
be
thing as.
Dominican.
That's not the same
could be
thing as
Dominican,
Puerto
or
Ricans.
Paris or-
Look, listen to what I'm saying. You got Puerto Ricans. That's not the same thing as being from the Indian subcontinent. Puerto Rican, you're talking about people that came from other places that inhabited there. The people the Tainos, they've been gone for a long time. We're talking about people from the Indian subcontinent. That's a whole different thing. That's like being from China. I mean, come on, think about it for a moment.
You're not getting what I'm saying to you. I think what I'm talking about when people see you out there. Dark skin, nappy hair.
Her,
you know what,
how
you
people,
know what they want to call you.
How people.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hold on. Wait.
Right.
Is she a nappy hair?
Yes, kind of.
No, she does not. No, she does not.
Long.
Nappy hair where?
It's not like nappy, but it's straight.
Wait. Hold on. You think Kamala Harris got nappy hair? Where? Kamala Harris don't got never been nappy hair. I have nappy hair if I were to grow it out.
Right.
I know.
Right.
No, sir. Kamala Harris.
All right, bro. I mean, I know. Look, you the party supposed to know about identity politics, but now you playing identity politics.
Identity politics? What are you talking about? I'm talking about what she said. She said she was Indian. Now she's black because it's politically expedient.
Well, I mean, for me, she looks black to me. She doesn't look.
That's your opinion, and that's fine. But
and I know.
Hey, you know what? You know what's funny though?
She,
You know what's funny is that she don't agree with you though. She don't agree with you until 2019 when she's trying to become the president. She didn't agree with you in 2017 when she got sworn in by Joe Biden and she was an Indian. But she agreed with you now because it's politically expedient to do so. Come on, man.
Maybe because her mother. I mean,
look, man, you got to come with a better argument than this, man.
It's like
you're getting wrecked. You're getting wrecked every week. You got to come with a better argument.
No, I'm not giving you a right. I give you. Okay, it's like the same, right? Obama was raised by his mother. His father disappeared. So why he presenting himself as black?
What?
Obama, right?
What about Obama?
Was raised by his mother and his grandmother and his grandfather. They're white.
Uh-huh.
His father disappeared. So why he present himself as a black man?
That's irrelevant. That's okay. I'm gonna ask you a question. It doesn't matter, sir. I'm gonna answer you a question. I'm gonna answer you a question. I'm gonna answer you a question. If you be quiet, you're muted. Now, Barack Obama had a black parent that was straight from Africa, 100% black, unlike Kamala Harris. I say that Barack Obama is mixed personally, but in America, if you are mixed, black and white, a lot of times they'll just identify you as black. But Kamala Harris is not in that same situation. Her mother is from the Indian subcontinent. Her father is mixed black and white himself. Her father's nowhere near 100% black like Barack Obama's dad is. So at best, she is mixed. At worst, she is Indian. But none of that really matters because she identified as Indian, not black. But now, all of a sudden, in 2019, when it becomes politically expedient to do so, all of a sudden she's black. To fool guys like you and thinking that she's black.
You know, his father is from Jamaica and he's black, and his mother is Indian. So what about his father?
What?
His father is black, right?
Whose father? Barack Obama?
Kamala Harris. Her father.
Well, I mean, technically, he's mixed too.
Mixed why?
Black and white.
He's Jamaican.
His father is white. You said what?
It's Jamaican. It's right.
Wait a minute. Let's pause for a moment. Now, do you think Jamaican is a race?
No, it's a nationality.
So
It's not a race. I'm not
so
stupid.
why you bring up Jamaican? What does that got to do with it?
Well, I'm pretty sure he most likely will be black. I don't
No,
think there's too many
Jamaica
white
is a
Jamaicans.
country, sir, just like America. So I can say I'm
So
American.
now you just said,
Wait, sir.
Okay, for
Jamaica,
Barack Obama is black, for Kamala Harris. You're just playing games. You just said that because in America you black and white, you black, but now in Jamaica, because she parents are from Jamaica and the mother from India.
no, you're all over the place. I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna say what I got to say, and then I'm done with it. Barack Obama, in my eyes, is mixed. He's mixed black and white. America may see him as being black because if you are mixed black and white, they just may say that you're black due to the old Jim Crow one jot rule. But Kamala Harris does not even have that because her father is mixed himself with a white father. Her grandfather is white. Her father is mixed, and her mother comes from the Indian subcontinent. So I think I've done enough explaining for that right there. I'll move on to the next call. Have a good day. I mean, why is it so hard to understand? Jamaica is not a race. I know that it's been like kind of a branding thing where say, oh, you're Jamaican, you're black. Jamaica has a dominant race, which would be black, but you also got Chinese there. You got Indians from the continent. You have white people there. You got all kind of folks there. The dominant race is black, but there are other races there. It's simple. It's not that difficult to understand. But let me get to my next call. All right, 727, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello? Yeah.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Greg.
All right, Greg, what's happening?
Hi. I was just wondering, what are some of your favorite books that I can read?
I don't have anything for you, man. I've not read any books in a while. I usually just read a lot of articles, a lot of news. I've not really been reading a lot of books lately.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've not read a lot of books lately. I'm too busy reading articles. Most of my day, I probably spend about 4 hours a day reading news. So, I don't really, no. When I was a kid, I would read books for fun. It was just like playing a video game for me, reading books. But I've not had time to do that a lot lately. So let me get to my next call here. 450, you're on the line. I'm going to speak it to.
Hey, I want to talk to Anthony Bryan, please. He's really cool. I like his channel. I want to congratulate him and talk politics, please.
Oh, you're right here, man. This is me talking. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. My name is Hans Trooper. I left you some beautiful comments because I saw your videos. This fucking heckler.
Hold on. Caller. You can't cuss on the show.
Ray, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you say no cursing. I'll be careful. I'll respect your channel criteria for sure. Yeah. So I want to congratulate you. Did I subscribe to your channel? I think I did. I just want to check. Yeah, I have subscribed. And my name is Hans Trooper. You can check me out. I've got compared to you, I don't have that many people because I'm kind of like rising. I'm starting, although I've been doing this for years, but I want to talk politics, so that's the main thing. I want to keep my this thing you're talking about right now. Are you like you're streaming, but I don't understand because I see you. Is it like a few minutes lagging?
Yeah. Don't watch the stream. Just talk to me on the phone.
Oh, okay. I want to say that this guy who called you ignorant, like he's the one ignorant. I can't stand these people. And you're so nice and so diplomatic. I appreciate, but still, the only thing I didn't like, and this is a constructive comment for you, because I really love and appreciate what you're doing. And but this is, can I say this? This guy was really stupid, and he's the ignorant one. He actually calls you ignorant. You're trying to have an honest, adult conversation. This guy doesn't even have an argument. And this is so simple. Even a kid would know that this girl you're talking about, this Indian woman, was actually Indian. She may have her skin like sort of like black, but she's Indian. It's not like a black person. There's so many different variants. You know, each country, each people have its particular. When you call somebody black, usually they're black. You know, when you call a white person, so it's why is he making a big deal out of this? I mean, she's Indian. She said it herself. Now this guy doesn't even have an argument, and it's obvious that she wants the black vote. I mean, a kid of 10 would know that she wants the black vote. So it's kind of like this witch, what's her name, the one who wants to be in the candidate, Warren. Now she wants to say she's native. I mean, this is obvious. These people are liars. They're not from that denomination. Like, she's not black per se. She just wants the black vote. I mean, this how more obvious can that be, sir?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious to me. You know, I see what's going on, because my main piece of evidence for it was the fact that Kamala Harris was identifying as Indian for quite a while up until recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't she Latino, though? Isn't she Latino?
Who, Kamala Harris? No.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris's father is mixed black and white, and her mother is from the Indian subcontinent. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was identifying as Indian. I think she got sworn in 2017 by Creepy Joe as Indian, but now all of a sudden that it becomes politically expedient, she's black.
Right. Yeah. It's all the same story, you know. They act. You know, it's the same thing with the gays. You know, they're gonna say, next thing you know, they say I'm gay. You know, just to want to get the gay votes. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
that's right.
You know, I hope Trump gets back in. I think he's got a good chance, you know. So he's got a good pool of people. Trump loves all kinds of people. He loves blacks, he loves whites, he loves Latinos. I mean, he's going to hire anybody as long as the person has the merit and is honest, you know. That's what I love about Trump.
There it is. I'm with you 100%.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to the Doctor of Common Sense. I saw the video with two guys. I mean, two great minds. That was awesome, man. I mean, they kicked him out of YouTube. That's such a, you know, I was like, wow, you know, why would, YouTube is such like it's going. Have you checked out BitChute, by the way, Anthony?
I've heard about it, but I've not put anything on there, but I have heard about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you're still on YouTube, and I want to say congratulations to you. Keep on doing your great work, and keep on denouncing these women. And these women, they're going crazy, these soccer moms and all that garbage. I mean, I saw the video lately you said about the soccer. They want to go, like, get the money, equal pay. I mean, what kind of bullshit is that? I mean, you laid out the argument so well, you know?
I'm with you, man, but... Hey, I thank you for your support and the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Have a great night, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, shout out to the caller, but please no cursing. Please no cursing, because YouTube going to come in here and they're going to be all in my business. Now, this is what I want to play right quick before we get to the next call. Can I play this right quick? Can I get a little bit of permission to go off the rail? Okay, this is this is hilarious. Okay. When you see this, you're going to just kind of flip. All right. Matter of fact, do I have it up? I think I do. Okay. Now, this is from AP, all right? Associated Press. This is not Fox News or anything like that. Now, can you guys read that right there at the bottom of the screen? At the bottom of the video, what does that say? Indian American members of Congress sworn in. Indian American members of Congress. Okay. Now, let's see if we can find Kamala Harris. Okay, you got a guy right there. Obviously, Indian. You know, dark-skinned guy, straight hair. Looks like he came straight from Persia yesterday, okay? He's an Indian guy, all right? Now, he has his hand up, smiling. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Who is that in the dress? Who's that? Who is that? Indian American members of Congress sworn in from January 8th, 2017.
You know that, right? All right. We're going to have you stand.
And you see him right there. That's Creepy Joe.
And Kamala, you stand out. Okay. We're going to reenact the ceremony, and then we're going to bring in your folks, okay? Well, you ready? All right. That's a good way to do it. Okay. All right?
Yes.
Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right. Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you're about to enter, to help you God?
I do.
I don't have to count my mind. Now, you got some family out here?
Thank you. Come on, family.
Here comes the family.
I got quite a crew.
Well, great to see you. Do you guys know what they... Oh, I'm sorry.
You see, you have India right here, okay? It's clear. Now, here's an YouTube video. Matter of fact, it's a story from AP. It says 5 Indian American members of Congress were sworn in on Tuesday, including California Senator Kamala Harris and Rep. Pramila Jayapal from Washington State. So I think I proved my point. I'll move on. All right. Yeah, I saw that little kiss on the cheek. What's going on with that? Can she sue him now for that? Let's go to the next call. 2-4. Oh, you're in the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, it's JB. What's up, brother?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Another day, never thought, you know. Man, good job, man. And you know what was making me sick? Is these people who will step on the daggone flag. I was mad about it. Everybody's like, that's her opinion. I'm like, you're stepping on the United States flag. What you are representing, you moron. And everybody's cheering on for that stuff. I'm like, so you're going to step on the United States flag. You feel me, ABL? And you get on that, you talking about why you did it. You're playing for the United States team, you moron.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, how you going to be on the United States team and then almost like stomp the flag out? What are we doing? And then you're not putting your hand over your heart. But what's really going on here?
Exactly. And even equal pay, women's sports suck. They suck. I hate to say it, they suck. I don't want to watch women do layups. I'm sorry. That's all they can do. It's like one woman, Lisa Leslie. When Lisa Leslie was playing and Cheryl Wilson was playing, WA was good. But nowadays, it's too watered down with just mediocre women players. That's all it is. I hate to say it like that, it is. And I don't know any WNBA players that I can say off the top of my head without looking it up, because I don't care. You know, if everybody gets mad when I say that to them, I'm like, it is the truth. Like, I got in an argument with somebody over they got mad because Michelle Obama was saying how you can't compare, you have your own separate life. I said, she was the first lady. She didn't have a separate life. What is she talking about? Her whole identity is Barack Obama.
Right.
She said, everybody got mad when I said that to him. Like, women, you get mad how you want to. But the truth of the matter is, if it wasn't for Barack Obama, who the hell would know Michelle? Who would know Michelle is? Call myself.
Right. I mean, like Barack Obama, like her whole identity is like the Obama name is her name. So I don't understand. You the first lady. You with him all the time. The only reason why you were on these political platforms is because of Barack. If it were not for Barack Obama becoming the president, you wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't be on these panels talking and giving speeches and conferences. You'd just be another lawyer randomly in Chicago. You wouldn't be this high political figure.
Exactly. And then somebody got mad because I said to her, I said, there's nothing wrong with being somebody who's the queen. She's second in line. That's all it is. And you can say what you want to say, and then, but where will Rock be over Michelle? He'd probably still be president with a different woman.
Right. And, you know, the thing about it is, some would rather be in the lower space in life and be independent than be in the higher space in life and be, you know, second to somebody else.
That's everybody. How you look at it, how you cut, how you slice it, she's second. Sorry. She'll always be second because if it wasn't for her husband, she wouldn't be nothing. And I hate to say that. I'm not saying in a mean, meticulous way, but that's the truth. It's the truth. Like just like case in point, people get mad because I comment the Venus Serena picture. I said, I said Serena is losing her mind. She really is. She's losing her mind. She's walking around half naked, showing pictures of her body half naked. And I said, you're a mother and you're a political figure. And talking about she's a role model. No, she's not. If you are showing your boobs and butts half naked and you're married to a guy, you want attention. For some reason, I don't know why she does. She's not that attractive anymore to me. She looks mannish now. I'm sorry. The older she got, the uglier she got. I hate to say that, but
yeah, I saw that cover. I'm like, what is the purpose in doing this? Why you got to be naked on the front cover of the magazine? I mean, you have plenty of money because number one, she is one of the most dominant women's tennis players ever, if not the most dominant. Number two, she's married to the guy that founded Reddit, so they're not poor. They don't need money. Exactly. What is the reason why you got to show your hind parts on the cover of the magazine? It's people. People when they're in the music industry and they become broke, The next step is, okay, I got to get naked to get some money. But she has no reason to do that. So it's just for attention and that's it. Nothing more.
Exactly. She's not happy. Everybody can clearly see that. She is an unhappy person. She's not happy with the husband she got because he's a pushover. And he didn't put her in her place. And that's the problem with it. And anybody can see that. He's always quiet, cheering her on, saying, yeah, you go, girl. No woman wants to hear a man say, you go, girl.
Yeah, nobody trying to hear that.
I've been married for almost, you know what I'm saying? But on the flip side is, but ABL, congratulations on getting 300. And hey, I'm happy for you, brother, man. And it's a shame you didn't make it to the White House this week because I watched Mark Dyson talk about it, and yeah, I wish you could have made it, bro. You probably could have been filming and doing some good things down there. But always next year, right, brother?
That's right.
Yeah, but in the big scheme of things is the way society is going nowadays. It's becoming the men they want men to be soft, but then they don't like you to be soft. But that's what you want, and that's why I tell everybody today: you can't be with somebody who wants you to be because they're not going to like you in the end.
That's right.
So, and on the flip side, I thought of an idea. I called it last week, so I thought of an idea for a hat, a trucker hat.
Yeah.
You can put like a picture of a truck on there, a square truck going down the road, and you say, I digress on it. That'd be dope. It's like different colors, like a black and like an army color, and put like USA, or put like the 13th colony in the middle of it. That'd be dope.
Yeah, man, that sounds good to me for sure.
Yeah, baby, did you get Days Gone yet? Did you get it yet?
I've not gotten it yet. I'm sorry, man. I can't do it, man.
You can't do it?
I can't do it. I played it already, and I don't know. You know what? I might get it after, because right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm playing that, so I might get it afterwards if it's on sale.
Man, I'm in love with the game, man. I'm in love with the game. I ain't gonna lie. It grew on me, man. It like grew on me like one of my kids who got on my nerves. But yeah, ABL, congratulations on the show, brother, man. Keep the faith. Keep doing what you're doing, brother, man. And don't let them people get on your nerves. And don't let no this YouTube apocalypse get on your nerves. The money will come, brother.
That's right, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right, now, peace. All right, thank you to my man JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody watching. We got 563 in the building. If you are just now coming in or you came in recently, please give the video a thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously. And thank you all for helping me get to 300,000 subscribers. It means so much. Y'all don't even really know. But thank y'all for being here. All righty. Now, I'm gonna show you guys this video right quick. Have you seen this? The Megan Rapinoe, that the soccer infidel that decided she wanted to kneel during national anthem, all this, that, and the third. Now, this, I guess, is at the ESPY Awards, and here comes this little kid over here, and he hands her a soccer ball with a marker or something to sign, and she has it in her hand. She's getting ready to sign it. So she signs the soccer ball. She's signing it, and then look at her face. Not even looking at the boy. It's just like, yo, take this, little boy. Just like, where's the humanity there? You know what I'm saying? Now, she's signing the ball. That's great. But show him a little bit of, hey, kid, shake his hand or something. You just like, you know what I mean? No humanity there. Just what kind of, see, that's why people like that do stuff like that. They got other issues, It's mental. I think it's just some mental issues personally. And she needs to get a different kind of, I heard she had kind of a wardrobe malfunction. The lady is nuts. But anyway, we'll move on to the next call. And thank y'all for being here. Again, I appreciate it. Shout out to all the super chatters. Thank you to Tracy Elliott for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to Doberman Pincher, who says the caller is right. I'm not quite sure who that was, but whoever it was, thank you for your call and thank you for the donation. Thank you to Jimmy B, who says, dear Lord, the caller from Boston is whack. Bleach looks like water, therefore the content of the glass is refreshing. Thank you for that, Jimmy B. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Dark Duck, who says, send me some bathwater, ABL. You're hilarious. Shout out to that gamer girl who got paid. How do you go out of stock selling bathwater? But anyway, thank you for that. Shout out to James Miller for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. But let me get to my next call. And that's going to be 760. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Bruce.
All righty. What's going on?
Not much. Is this Anthony?
You're speaking to him right now. You're live on the air.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
I had a couple questions for you. Well, first I wanted to say I'm sorry you weren't invited to the social media summit. I wanted to see you there.
Oh, it's all right, man. I'll be in the White House again soon enough.
Okay, good. Yeah, I liked seeing you at the Young Black Leadership Summit. That was good. I was wondering what your opinions on Tulsi Gabbard and also environment.
Tulsi Gabbard is a one-trick pony. Her whole thing is being anti-war, which is good, but Trump also ran on being anti-war. So I don't really see much of a difference between her and Trump, and the rest of her policies I don't think I'm going to like because she's a Democrat at the end of the day. It's kind of like Andrew Yang. People said, the whole UBI thing is exciting, it's energetic, but he's still a Democrat at the end of the day. When they asked him and everybody else on stage at the debate, would you support health care for illegals? He raised his hand, yes. So, you're still a Democrat, so I'm not really a fan. And as far as the environment, I think in America, we treat the environment very well. People trying to talk about climate change and the Green New Deal. What they're trying to do is just put other things in there to change the country totally. Matter of fact, one of the authors or one of those who introduced it, again, I think Jill Stein had it at first. One of those who put it back out, it was a text I saw somewhere where they were like, we're trying to change the country. We're not really trying to go through this whole environmentalism thing. That's not a need for that here. The need for change environmentally is in Africa, Asia, and the Indian subcontinent, mostly Africa and India and China.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. Infrastructure change.
Oh, is that a question?
Right? Yeah. Are you talking about infrastructure change in Asia and India?
I'm talking about that, but also just the environment. They don't treat the environment well. I heard that like 90% of the ocean's like physical waste pollution comes from 10 rivers. 8 are in China and India and 2 in Africa. So, I mean, if we're talking about, the Green New Deal and trying to clean up the environment, we don't need to look here in America. We have a very clean country here in America. But you go to China, India, especially if you go to like Beijing, Shanghai, go outside, it's like smoking a pack of Newports every hour on the hour.
Yeah. But I mean, I know we don't need a new green infrastructure, like a new Green Deal or something like that, but don't you think we should be doing something to kind of go into the future of green technology?
Well, I'm not really sure what can be done. I mean, because the way technology is, it kind of just, you can't really just throw money at it and expect things to just happen. That's not really how it works. I mean, there's not much you really can do. You already have a lot of
in infrastructure.
But like, as far as what would you propose?
Technology, just putting more money into developing like greener technologies.
Like what though?
Maybe wind turbines, maybe nuclear, I would say.
Well, okay. Well, wind will not be able to power a grid at all. Like they tried that in Germany. They tried to have wind in, I think they tried wind, solar, and hydro in Germany to power most of the grid, but it didn't work because if you don't have any wind, you don't have any power. And you can't really store it. See, the thing about coal and petroleum is that you're able to store it. You're able to, harvest it and store it somewhere. So that's why
nuclear.
And nuclear is okay, but the problem is the waste. Fukushima, remember that whole situation in Japan. So you don't want Chernobyl, Fukushima, or something like that. It's always a challenge of how to find a way to actually store the waste. So nuclear is good energy. It's much better than wind and solar, but unfortunately has a lot of waste that's much more toxic than any kind of coal ash or something like that.
Okay. I have one more question. Do I have another question?
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So I noticed when Obama was elected president that I felt like race relations between blacks and whites got worse. And then now that Trump is president, I feel like they got better. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, the proof is in the pudding because under President Trump, we've not had these race riots like we had under Barack Obama. Barack Obama made the mistake of saying that Black Lives Matter did a great job. And he invited D. Ray McKesson, the leader of the whole thing, to the White House and was basically praising them. So when you had the leader of the free country, the free world, praising these kind of people that are inciting the race riots, it makes it worse because it kind of just emboldens them. But Trump has kind of cracked down on that, and I feel like a lot of people are starting to come out now as more moderates, more centrists, maybe even straight conservatives, and they're uniting under that whole thing. So I think it's become better under Trump than it was under Barack Obama for sure.
I agree with you 100%.
All righty, man. Well, thank you for the call.
All right. Thanks.
All right, now appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate you. Yeah, and then about Trayvon Martin, could have been Barack Obama's son. Barack Obama did not handle things appropriate. He did not handle things appropriately. And the same thing with Trayvon Martin. Remember that whole situation? He said, not Trayvon Martin, pardon me, Skip Gates, the professor, the black college professor, he got arrested outside of his house because his neighbors called the police on him. He did not have his key. He was trying to break into his house. But I guess his neighbors thought that he was just a guy trying to break in. And then Barack Obama said the police acted stupidly, all this, that, and the third. Stuff like that Trump does not say. I think people are becoming united in understanding that the media is fake. They're putting out fake news all the time. So they're just not really... The people are revolting against the establishment media, people that have been there for a very long time. It is what it is. Yeah, it was bad under Barack Obama as far as race relations are concerned. It definitely was not what I envisioned it was going to be. I thought it was going to be much more unity, much more progress, and hope and change. And you're going to hope and change for a new president, what you're going to hope and change for. But anyway, let me get to my next call.
Subscribe if you want to hear
All right, Nipin, what's happening? All right, they got noise in the background now.
In the background.
All righty.
Yeah. This whole women's football team fiasco continues. I'm sorry, but it's just called football in the UK, so I'm just going to say football.
Okay.
So yeah, if Megan Rapinoe wants to stamp on the US flag, she should just go south of the border and declare for another team. It's called Mexico.
She should do that, but they don't want to really leave. They want to still stay in the country, reap all the benefits, but at the same time, disrespect the country.
Yeah. You see, that's why America is so great, because even the people who hate America still live there.
That's right.
So yeah, before you connected me, I was having a racist white picnic with white popcorn, white milk, and white granola.
Hilarious.
So yeah, just to keep all the commies triggered.
There you go. That's how you got to do it.
And then I have my grape juice as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the social media summit. Apparently, liberals never fail to disappoint, do they?
Oh, they never do. And I'm not surprised at all that whatever happened, because that's how the left operates. They can't be peaceful, they can't be tolerant, and they're haters because they know that they're being replaced by us.
Soon there'll become a point in which the Democratic Party will become two different parties.
Yeah, I think it may happen. It definitely may happen.
Because the Democratic Party itself is a branch of something from the pre-Civil War era. Oh yeah, the Whig. I think it was the Whigs and the Federalists.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was it. So yeah, they are coming for us.
Who?
Hollywood.
What do you mean they're coming for us?
They've done it. I'm still not very confident what Disney are going to do.
So you're talking about the whole Little Mermaid thing?
Yeah, Mermaid Gate.
Oh, okay. So you think they might try to they might try, huh?
They might try to make the villain a man. I'm sorry, but no, you can't do that.
No, you can't. That's not going to work. That's not going to operate too well here. But hey, I mean, I'm not surprised at what's happening right now because the seeds have been planted for a long time. They're trying to say, oh, gender doesn't matter. Nothing really matters.
Gender does matter.
It does matter. Yes,
Race does matter. I can't have a white person playing Gandhi.
Right. Yeah, I know that you would be really upset. It's like, come on, man. A white guy, really? If you get Russell Crowe.
I mean, if I had the money, I'd probably sue them as well.
Right, yes.
And Pelosi versus AOC. Moderate versus progressive.
Well, I mean, they have a lot of back and forth on Twitter. People are really, and I think the Democratic Party is kind of getting tired of it. She has some supporters. I'm talking about AOC, that is. She has like the squad with her. But as far as Nancy Pelosi,
I think the Democratic Party, I think Pelosi is not one of her supporters.
You said Pelosi is not one of her supporters? One of whose?
I don't think so.
Well, no, Pelosi does not support AOC. Or that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I'm saying. She doesn't.
No, of course not. Not at all.
She was one of the. And don't get this twisted. I do not support Pelosi in any way, but she was one of the Democrats who actually opposed the whole Trump impeachment thing.
Well, yeah, because I think she would understand what it means. You understand that it's going to be politically terrible for them coming up in 2020. How are you going to be trying to impeach this guy during the actual re-election? And then what if they're not successful? That's going to be terrible on them, totally embarrassing. It'll be worse for them in the end.
But then I'd say before 2040, I see three parties.
You said before when?
I see three parties.
Oh, you see three parties? Okay.
Forming.
Now,
I see a third political party forming.
Well, I mean, do you think that, well, there's more than three right now, but it's only two that are viable. Would the third one be viable? Like, let's say the Democratic Party had, would it be viable?
Maybe. You never know.
Well, how about like in national elections, would it be viable? Because that's kind of hard. You got to be able to get a lot of votes, and you got to be able to get them across the entire country, not just in big pockets of population.
Yeah, so someone came up with this fan art on what the movie should have been of Little Mermaid. Look, this is the fan. Look, do you see? Look, it's the mermaid with a black friend.
Okay, wow.
Do you see it?
I can see it, yeah.
So yeah, that would have made more sense. But no, they just had to race bait, don't they?
Hey, apparently that's the new wave.
And now Kamala Harris claiming to no, she's not black. She's whiter than me.
Yeah, I mean Kamala Harris is a nut. You know, and the thing about it is she was being sworn in. I don't know if you saw it when I played it earlier, but she was being sworn in as an Indian American.
Yes, I did.
So it's like, okay, how do you switch? Like, have you ever seen a person that is Indian switch and say they're black?
Yeah, and you know what I find weird about her is, but like the Democrats always go like, oh, the Christians are bad, Muslims are the ones who you should follow. She is one of those Christians. I looked on Kamala Harris's Wikipedia page, and she was apparently she's an evangelist.
Who's an evangelist?
Kamala Harris.
Oh, really? I had no clue.
Well, Baptist, I don't know if they're the same thing, Baptists and evangelists.
Well, evangelist is kind of like when that's not really, you can be an evangelist and a Baptist, you know what I'm saying? It's just,
yeah, they're part of the Protestant church.
If you evangelize, you kind of just go out there and you're really religious, basically, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and now Brandon Tatum was at the social media summit as well.
That's right.
He?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time a scandal has been done when it comes to sport. In fact, since America's not a huge football nation. There was a time in which a man called Diego Costa from Brazil, but he decided, like after one game for playing with Brazil, he decided, nah, I want to play for Spain.
Oh, really?
I'm like, what the hell?
Like, how do you do that?
Either or. You're either Brazilian or you're Spanish.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can't just be switching. Just, pick a team and stick with it.
Exactly. And then this, it happened with England actually. He actually made the right call in the end because he was in no shape. Basically, this guy called Declan Rice, he was born and raised in London, but somehow through his parents or his grandparents, he could play for Ireland.
Okay.
So he was like, yeah, I'll play for Ireland. But then just like, nah, I want to play for England. And now he plays for England.
Wow.
I'm like, make up your mind. You're either Irish or you're English.
That's right.
But no, I think he made the right choice. I'm not saying this as a biased person, but I think he made the right choice to play for England because he's never, ever, ever lived in Ireland.
Right.
He grew up, he's as English as I am. He's never lived in Ireland. He grew up in London.
I mean, that makes sense to me, man. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just all about kind of where you are. But I got to get to some more cars here, Nippon. So I appreciate you for that.
Do you have 30 more seconds? Because I was going to talk about Robert Kelly.
Well, let's say that one for the next time because I'm at the end of my.
Of course. I'm sorry for taking too much of your time.
Oh, it's all good, man. Thank you for the call as always. Definitely appreciate you.
I shall see you on Thursday.
Thursday my time. Well, Wednesday my time. Thursday your time.
Yeah, I shall see you then.
All right, now take care.
Peace.
All right. Thanks for my input for the call. I most certainly appreciate him. Hey, I was over here leaning like this because one of my monitors just went out. Like, I couldn't see Nippon on the screen, so I tried to refresh it by unplugging the HDMI, and I can't get it to connect back. I have two monitors. Right here I have the OBS, so I can see myself, and I have the mute button, all that kind of stuff, and all my different things. And then I have the chat over here and the website stuff. And over here, I can handle my calls, but that went out. So I'm going to try to just work this the best I can with one little 24-inch monitor, and we can get to some more calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I should have put it in the description box. Maybe I didn't do that. But if you don't see the number, it usually comes up right here up under the ticker. And again, the number to call is 434-658-1220. But let me get to the next call here. All right. Caller, you're on the line, 443. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Michael from Baltimore.
All right.
With the thing with Kamala Harris, if she claims to be Indian, then she's Indian.
My thing is, she keeps changing.
2 years later, you can't claim to be black if 2 years before you claimed to be Indian.
That's right.
As far as the soccer player,
yeah.
The first question should be asked is, how do you feel about making America great since you won a championship for America?
Well, I mean, that should be a question for her, huh?
Yeah, it should be a question for her. Now, as far as AOC, she's just a dumb girl that got elected because nobody really ran against her.
That's right. They saw a seat that was kind of vulnerable because the guy had been in there for a long time. When nobody really came out, and they did this whole campaign, a bunch of money behind it, and they got her in that way. They got her in through the back door.
Yeah, truthfully, she's just a meme for Congress, which I'm really upset about because Congress don't do nothing. They blame everything on the president, but this is not how the government works.
Right.
Congress votes on a bill, goes to the Senate, then it goes to the president. The same people that's crying about the border now was saying it was a manufactured hoax. This is really not happening. They acting like a bunch of kids.
Exactly.
But yet they want to raise. They're getting paid $174,000 a year, and now they want to raise for doing what? Nothing.
Right. You're not really doing a whole lot right there.
No, it's acting like they're acting like my kids. Oh, they don't want to do their tour, but no, they want to raise in their allowance. No, they're not going to get it.
Right.
And truthfully, with raises, that should be voted on by the people, not by other people that's getting a raise anyway.
Right.
I don't understand what's going on. It's like they're just chipping away at our Constitution little by little, little by little.
And that's definitely what it seems like, but I don't think they're going to be successful in the end.
And all this race baiting. Look, I'm 41 years old, so I'm not that old, but I'm not that young.
Right.
This stuff, when I was younger anyway, this stuff wouldn't happen, even though we had the Clintons with that 3-strike law that humiliated the poor people, period. Because that's who committed the most crimes, the poor people.
Mm-hmm.
Without giving us education, giving poor people education and stuff like that. And we're not realizing it's just continuing and continuing and continuing. These Democrats don't care about nothing but power. They act moral, but how are they moral?
I can't really tell.
Moral is supposed to be having values and meaning something, caring for each other. Now, you want to care about people from another country, but then we got poor people and majority of our country that's living in tent cities. We got a record number of people living in adoption centers. They don't care about them, but they care about these people that actually made the decisions to run to the border to get locked up.
That's right. That's a good point. It's like, okay, you went on this whole big journey, thousands of miles. Some of them flew on planes, and then your whole intention was to get locked up in the centers, so then you're able to get released into the interior of the country. Yeah. But those who are here, who've been here for a long time, homeless, struggling, starving, I mean, where's the help and outrage for them?
Yeah, and then what about how do we know that the people that's bringing these kids are really their parents? They don't have paperwork.
That's right.
And their paperwork is not the same as us because we have Social Security numbers. We can track everything through our Social Security number.
Yep.
But then why don't we charge their parents for child endangerment?
Right.
Because isn't that what they're doing? They're endangering their children by bringing them so far away from them.
Pretty much.
Isn't that child abuse? If we let our kids out at a certain time walking by themselves, we can get charged for that.
That's right.
It's nonsensical. It is beyond understanding for a logical mind. And now I'm a Democrat. I did vote for Trump, but that's after two terms of Obama not really doing nothing for the inner cities.
Right.
But they don't want to talk about the First Step Act. They don't want to talk about the Second Chance. They don't want to talk about the urban bringing money back into the urban communities.
That's right.
You're not trying to make America better. You're trying to make America worse. That's ridiculous.
A lot of them don't really care. They're just trying to get power, and they're trying to go about it by any means necessary. Now the whole thing is using illegal immigrants as pawns in their game. That's what they're really trying to do.
And then you look at these politicians. Okay, they're poor before they go into office, but when they come out of office, they're rich.
They're rich. Yeah, that's right.
So what are they doing in office? At least President Trump say, "Oh, look, I don't even need a salary from y'all. I'll give it back to the government."
That's right.
I'm doing this for my country. Come on now. How can you get mad about that? And everything is racist, but before he ran as a Republican, everybody loved him.
Yeah, I mean, there were songs about him, all kind of hip hop songs.
Yeah, songs
Unlike
about him.
Donald Trump.
Everybody wanted to be Trump. Ice Cube praised him. Everybody wanted to be Trump. Even Ice Cube said that.
That's right. That's right. I mean, that's 100% correct. You know, it's just, you know, I think the media, they get involved and they try to shape people's minds and narratives, and things just kind of get misconstrued that way, man. But it's been a great call, but I got to get to a few more on the lines. So thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. You have a good night, and congratulations on hitting 300,000.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, now.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you are just now joining or you've been here for a little while, please like the video. The likes are free. Sharing the video is free. All that good stuff is 100% free. So thank you for doing that if you're doing it. But let me get to my next call. All right, call you on the line, 917.
Hey, ABL?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing? It's Rob from New York City. Big fan. I feel like I just won a radio station, when you call Hot 97, whatever. It's like, oh, you're calling 97. I didn't think you would actually answer. That's so funny. I wanted to pick your brain about a few topics. I don't want to take up too much time because I know you got other callers. But before I got into politics back in last August, I was really critical about the LGBTQ community. I call them the letters gang because of how they respond to people.
Right.
But what do you think about their push for pedophilia? Because something that I saw at the World Pride, I drive Uber for a living, and I got stuck in so much traffic. It was ridiculous because they had the World Pride a couple of weeks ago, and they said kids can handle the kink. What do you think about this? How do you feel about their push toward pedophilia?
I think it's just the end game of some of those that are in the LGBT community. That's like what they want to do is include it in there. They're just trying to do things slowly but surely. And I figured it would happen because, I think gay marriage was the first thing to drop. Some people say, "Oh, gay marriage is not really a bad thing." I was like, listen, once they do gay marriage, then they're gonna try to have the next thing be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then it became, well, what if somebody is a little bit younger? What if this? What if that? Just too many little what ifs. Now, you have the whole transgender movement, and you're talking about anybody can identify as a different gender, including children. Now you've crossed that border into pedophilia. So that's how they're trying to do it. They're trying to do it through the whole transgenderism thing. And it's really a shame. Anybody that is involved with that needs to get locked up. People having these, trans story time things where you got these men dressed as women telling stories to small children in libraries. That should get stopped right now because now you're exposing children to a man that is dressed as a woman, full beard and everything. It's confusing to the kids, and they can get groomed into becoming a way that they really shouldn't be. So it just starts really from the LGBT community, the extremists in it that want to groom children into what they want them to be.
Yeah, I 100% agree. My problem is that I'm around a lot of people that, I guess, for lack of better words, they're just liberal. They claim that they're libertarians or whatever the case may be, but I've been very critical of what's going on with the kids being indoctrinated or groomed into this type of mentality. Everyone thinks I'm going crazy. Everyone's just like, "Oh, Rob, why are you talking about them? Why you're obsessed with it?" I'm like, they're basically sexually exploiting these kids. With Desmond the Amazing, when he was dancing by Meserole Street on $3 bill by me in Brooklyn. I live in Queens, but I'm very familiar with Brooklyn. And when this went down, I pulled up the event calendar and I went to the cops. And I told the lady, I'm like, "Look what's going on." And she's like, "Oh, that's nothing illegal." I'm like, "It's an 11-year-old boy isn't that sexual exploitation of a child, like dancing, stripping?" And
right.
She's like, "Oh, right, yeah." Like, they don't even care. I feel like I'm going crazy out here. Like, between friends and other people, they don't see that this is harmful. And I feel, that's why I'm happy to listen to these independent media sources. Between you, the amazing Lucas, I listen to Ben Shapiro, I listen to you guys, and every time you pop up on my newsfeed, it's like, oh, I gotta listen to ABL. You always got good points. Very rational, very logical. I appreciate your videos, man.
Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. Another question. I don't know the specifics. I was listening to the Democratic debates, and even though Pete
Edge.
Yeah, Booty Man. So he said something about religion. Like you try to take a swipe or a backhanded attack or a sucker punch at religion. I don't know if anybody else caught that. How do you feel about the LGBT go against religion and just the ideology in itself?
Well, that happens a lot because a lot of them, well, I'm not gonna say a lot of them, but some of them come from the Catholic Church. They may have gotten touched by a priest. So what you have in is people that are kind of resentful to what happened to them when they were children, and rather than just dealing with that particular thing with themselves and whoever did it, some of them want to just label the whole religion a certain way. And also, you got anti-homosexuality verses in the Bible, Deuteronomy and Leviticus and stuff like that. So they're against that. They don't want anything that's going to come against them. They're looking at anything that's Christian specifically as anti-LGBT. And the reason why I say Christian specifically is because Christianity is seen as a white man's religion. Although that's ridiculous, I would say that most practitioners of Christianity in the world are not white, but that's a different story. Anyway, they see Christianity as mostly white religion. Islam is much more harmful to those in the LGBT community. I mean, you go to some of these Islamic republics around the world, and if you are homosexual, you're going to get chucked from the top of a tall building and killed. You can get put in jail for being gay in certain countries that are ran by Islamic doctrine, but they don't say that Islam is somehow bad, or they don't talk bad about it because, number one, they don't want to get attacked. They don't want to get no Allahu Akbar type situation. And then number two, they look at Islam as an Arab religion. Although, again, that's not even really true. Most of the practitioners are not Arab, but that's a different story again. So it comes down to them attacking things that are considered white and religious while being an open hypocrite against a religion that's actually more harmful in their eyes, but is controlled by non-whites.
Okay. One more question. Well, more like a statement, if I may. So I was talking to this girl from St. Vincent, and she's, she doesn't know anything about politics. It's just that she loves Obama, and she's like, look, he's representing for our people, whatever. And I'm like, she would have never dated me in the first place if she knew that I started supporting Trump. I didn't vote for him in the beginning. And then between the First Step bill, the foster bill that stops sex trafficking, and all these different bills, I started supporting him, and she's aggravated. So I was showing her your video of reparations, and she had some unkind words about you, and I just looked at her like, because when you said it was a slave trade, not a slave kidnap, in that debate with that girl,
yeah,
it blew my mind. Oh my God, it was amazing. So she wasn't feeling it. It was a completely logical and rational discussion, but the people that I speak to, again, I say it all the time, they talk without a leg to stand on. They speak without a leg to stand on, and you handled that very well. That was amazing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No problem. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate it. You have a great night. I'm going to continue watching your videos as I drive. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate it.
No problem. Peace.
All right, now shout out to the caller. Yeah, I think during that debate where I said it was a slave trade, it wasn't a slave kidnap, it was a slave trade. I think even the young lady who I was debating enjoyed that. I saw her crack a smile. I was like, yeah, I got you on that one. You know, right? It was not a slave trade. It was not a slave kidnap. It was a slave trade. That's just what it was. It wasn't like a bunch of guys from England got on the boat 20 deep and just ran up on the coast and kidnapped a bunch of Africans. No, it was a slave trade. Even in school, in your school books, it says slave trade, not slave kidnap. Very simple. So shout out to my man for the call. Definitely appreciate it. Let me get to my next call here. All right, let's go. 323. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, Snap Turtle. What's good, man?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Oh, man, just doing what I do. I wanted to talk about this R. Kelly situation.
Yeah.
And the cognitive dissonance of some black people, man. It's just aggravating. So I'm sure you're aware that when R. Kelly got arrested and all that, right?
Yeah.
And people are coming out of woodworks talking about, they're just doing this as a distraction from Jeffrey Epstein to take attention away from him and all this other stuff. And it's like, first of all, the thing with Jeffrey Epstein is too blown up right now. Like it's so much attention on it. I'm hearing stories every 30 seconds based on Jeffrey Epstein. And it's like, what it's like is they're acting like R. Kelly is already being punished. He hasn't been in trial yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like we have to treat this is how I see it. I treat every pedophile equally, right?
Yeah.
I don't care how wealthy they are. I don't care about their color. I don't care black, orange, red, purple, elite, rich, poor. Once you cross that line, that's it. I don't care what you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are caping for R. Kelly, and they don't even know they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to bring other people up when we're talking about that person. That's what we're on right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of frustrating, man, because I was listening to somebody, and I'm not gonna mention their name, but they said that R. Kelly is not important because of the Jeffrey Epstein thing, and that's when. Go ahead.
But finish your thought right there.
So they're saying R. Kelly is not important because he's not as wealthy as Jeffrey Epstein and doesn't have the access to all the women that Jeffrey Epstein has. And I'm like, are you kidding me? R. Kelly was traveling the world doing tours. And you best believe that everywhere he went, he was trying to get something cracking. You know what I mean? So it's like, and we don't know how many women R. Kelly attacked. We don't know how many women Jeffrey Epstein attacked, right? So it's like, what are we doing here? You know, it's crazy.
I mean, the whole thing is this. I mean, you got regular guys in the hood that got kids by 20 women. Just regular dudes working a job at Kroger got 20. Right. And so it's like, come on. Like, R. Kelly, like you said, he's traveling the world. At one point, he had a lot of money. This is a worldwide singer. He was
right.
I have a video on my Instagram where he's singing in, I think it might have been Addis, Ethiopia, and he's singing about he's trying to recruit girls on stage. Do you have your passport? Yeah. Do you have your shots? Do you want to come back with Rob to America? He was singing this, and the background singer singing. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But now we know that he was dead serious. Like they said they have like 20. Yeah. They found 20 more tapes, like the one that came out back in the day. They found 20. They found 20 more of those.
Wow.
And this is why he got arrested recently, because his quote unquote enablers gave that to the FBI. So he has plenty of access to women. Jeffrey Epstein was able to, have the private jet and had his own island, all this kind of. But R. Kelly had plenty of access to women, and they're both very important, and they both need to get put up under the jail.
Yeah, and to me, they're the same type of person.
Yes,
like
100%.
To me, they have the same behavior, and the thing with saying that it's not that important, because I know they're saying that because he's black. I know that's why, right? So it's like saying, well, if your uncle does it, right, or your father does it, or your neighbor down the street does it, it's not important, right? Because they're not wealthy and they don't have access to, you know what I mean? And they're not white and they don't have access to as many women as a rich person. It's ridiculous. And this is the problem we're having, because in neighborhood, in the hood, that's going on all the time.
That's right.
People sweep it under the rug just because of that mentality. Like, oh, that's my uncle. Oh, I can't say nothing. And this is the problem we're having. It's crazy. So, wow. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. All pedophiles need to be castrated and thrown on the island by themselves. We need to. If you see something, if your child, always listen to your child. Always ask them questions. They're going to school every day. This stuff is happening in schools, not just with pedophiles, but with kids their own age.
That's right.
That may have been touched, that are doing the same thing to other kids.
Yep.
Talk to your children. Ask them questions. I ask them questions. My children questions. I homeschool my kids, but they do go to these programs in the evening, and I ask them every day, how was it? Did anybody do anything? Or, you got to have these conversations, because we need to make sure that we treat all these people the same. And that's pretty much all I got, man.
All right, thank you for the call,
Thanks
man.
for listening.
All right, definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, peace.
All right, thank you to my man Snap Turtle for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And yeah, R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein, the same guy. They have actually a lot in common. They both were flying around, recruiting women. They had money. They were paying women. The thing about R. Kelly is that he had like hostages in his house. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like a situation that happened. Remember that guy that went viral, the black guy in Cleveland? And he said the girl came into his arms. Like, oh, dead giveaway. Remember that? Those girls were in that house for like 10 years. Never came outside. I mean, that type of stuff was going on. Not to that extreme with 10 years and being chained to the bed, but almost you getting into that kind of category. They had to ask for permission to use the restroom and all kind of crazy stuff. So, they both need to get put up under the jail. And if it were me, hey, man, you're talking about 300 lashes. You do it old school style and the jail and some more stuff. But let me get to my next call. All right, Nico, what's happening?
Hey, Anthony, how have you been? Hey, you know what? I just want to say, first off, congratulations for reaching 300,000.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, I just want to say is that keep up the good work. I know I've said this before, but I know you're probably getting sick and tired of it, but thank you for leaving such an inspiration in my life. Never mind those people in their 20s who have been spoon-fed rhetoric, and therefore you see them advocating socialism and advocating for student loan forgiveness, while people like me, I'm just someone who's kind of been lost and still just trying to look deep and trying to find answers.
Well, hey, man, I'm glad I could be there for you, man, for sure.
But does that mean that since I told you before that my life's starting to take off from there, but if I do happen to become successful, we might be parting our own ways, hopefully I'll probably give you a shout.
Hey, it's all good, man. Whatever you do in your life, man, if it's positive, I'm all with it. So it's all good.
All right. But that's all I want to say. But to get to the topic right now, have you actually heard about this protest in Colorado at this detention center that these protesters actually tore down the American flag and put up the Mexican flag instead?
Yeah, I saw that. I put it on my Instagram. They also defaced a Blue Lives Matter flag.
It's also very audacious, to be honest. I don't know that people haven't talked about this, but did you know that over 50% of U.S. Border Patrol agents are Hispanic?
I didn't know the exact number, but I figured it was pretty high like that, because every time I see the Border Patrol, I'm seeing mostly Hispanics.
Yep, more than half of all U.S. Border Patrol agents are Hispanic. So right. Your argument so therefore the race card really doesn't play out from there anymore.
It doesn't make any sense. How can they be racist when they are the same race you're trying to pander to, speaking Spanish and stuff like that?
Well, of course, and yet they're the ones who are actually up on the forefront, kind of like pawns on a chess, kind of like the pawns on a chessboard. And I don't mean the pawns that you're basically using them. What I mean by pawns is they're the ones who are up in front of the battle.
Right.
That's what I mean by that. And speaking of, I also want to say this is that. Hold on. I also want to say this is that. Have you actually? I actually seen this that with some of them are actually calling these Latinos race that work in ICE. They're trying to say, oh, stop working with Border Patrol. That makes you a race traitor. And then I'm just thinking, what do you mean? What does it mean working in law enforcement making you a race traitor? Okay, it's like think of the children. Think of the children. Okay, well, what if some police officer who happens to be black in Chicago happens to shoot a gang member who happens to be a black 15-year-old? What is that then?
Well, we get some of the same things. Oh, you're a race traitor, but in reality, it's nothing but trying to protect the country. People, it doesn't matter what color the person is. If they are out there in public service, if they are a border patrol police officer, they're doing the right thing by trying to protect those that, for whatever reason, can't protect themselves, and also to protect the entire country. People just stupid. They're saying things that don't make any sense.
Yeah, and I also want to say this. With ADOS, I mean, I don't really. I've heard about ADOS when you just said this earlier in your show. But if they're talking about reparations for blacks, does that also include, if ADOS means Americans descended of slaves? I said this before. Does this also include the Irish and the Italians?
No, it only means blacks.
Because the Irish are not politically favorable. Put it that way.
Well, it's all about just black folks trying to get reparations. But the flip side of it is some black folks are using it to just become more patriotic, and I'm all for that. If they're going to become more patriotic and become more American rather than being so tied up in race, then I'm for that 100%. I think at the end of the day, we can all unite on being American.
Yeah, I mean it's about the common thing, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with flying a flag about your country of origin, right? But at the same time, don't fly it in a way that you act so entitled, or in a way as a form of supremacy. The only time you should fly that flag is under the American flag. And not only that, you should also fly it if you're in another country watching a soccer game.
That's right. Just be American and just embrace it. Don't be trying to tear down the American flag. And nah, man, just be American and embrace it. And if you don't want to embrace it, then there are plenty of other countries in the world. Pick one and see how it works.
I mean, if the country's so great, move there and stay there.
That's right. And
one thing another thing I want to say, I don't think you talked about this, but what do you think of, I know this might not be irrelevant to Sonny, but what do you think of that ice cream trend that's going on YouTube, that's been going on right now?
Hey, that's totally disgusting. I mean, if anybody doesn't really know what's happening, what people are doing is they're going into grocery stores and going to the ice cream section, opening the ice cream and licking it, and then placing the lid back on top and then putting it back in the actual section where they got it from. That's disgusting. I tell you what, if I catch anybody doing that, they're catching their hands ASAP. That's nasty. Anybody that does that, they go to jail. Like, you can't.
No, I don't say this, but for someone like me, I've always found that internet challenges have always been dumb. I mean, I remember back then, whatever happened to those challenges like the planking challenge, or sort of these challenges, like the challenges you see on the show Jackass, well, pardon my language right there, but where you put yourself in danger. I mean, it's one thing to put yourself in danger, but it's another level to put someone else's life in danger unintentionally.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to plank, if you want to parkour, if you want to do whatever you want that's just going to affect you, then go for it. But licking ice cream, like, nah, it's just gross, really, for real.
Oh yeah, and one more thing I'm going to touch on before I head out here. About that Megan Rapinoe, is that how I pronounce it right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the pink-haired soccer girl.
Yeah.
So I really want to say this about the LGBT. I mean, don't get me wrong. I might be the person here that's actually for LGBT, but I think the reason why I think the LGBT community has gotten so desperate because they're not special anymore, and therefore the attention that they're probably craving for is turning away from them. Not that people are prejudiced, or not that people are homophobic, but it's like they just see you as probably another American human being. But that's probably a problem from them because they're going to lose that special attention. They're losing that special attention.
That's right.
Do you understand what I mean here?
I'm with you.
All right, but that's pretty much all I gotta say. I know you have a lot of callers, but take care, man, and congratulations on the subscriber milestone.
Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for the call as well.
All right.
All right, now take care. All right, thank you to my man Nico for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let me see what I got over here. Hold on one second. Super chats. I got a few I need to read off right quick. Thank you to Psalm 91 for the donation who says, keep sharing the truth, Mr. Logan. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to the Junior Charon. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, who says, protesters in Colorado replace Mexican flag with American flag. Yeah, I saw that. I might play that right now before we go to the next thing. Thank you to Robert DeMartino, who says, hey, ABL, what's the number to call? 434-658-1220, right there up under me. Thank you to Troy Hugh or Howe, who says, keep up the great work. Thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate it. Thank you to Gerard Fernandez for your donation. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Tracy Elliott for your donation as well. Most certainly appreciate you. But let me get back to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call here.
Hey, ABL, what's the number to call?
All right, call you on the line. What's speaker to?
Luciano from Texas. Oh, my Lord. My hands are sweating just from stressing out. This call system, you need to have so much good reaction. Anyways, on illegal immigration, and I'm a Hispanic, and I'm allowed to speak about this. So if any Hispanic views me as a coon, a race traitor, I'm sorry for my language, I don't care. But here's something that gets my nerves. Okay, first off, I will have to question this out in order to partake the conversation. But what do you think about the fact that they're using the Mexican-American War to justify illegal immigration? And they're acting like all of the land was never owned by the United States. I mean, it never belonged to America legally. They're acting like the Treaty of Guadalupe was never signed, and so as a result, they had this give us back our land type of mentality. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that, people don't really care about the whole issue going on in Mexico or anywhere else. They're just trying to use a political football right now to gain some votes. You got candidates running for president in the U.S. campaigning for president in Mexico. Like, what are you doing? Are you there for humanitarian needs? Are you there to try and help? Or are you there trying to get votes? Are you there trying to get money? It seems like you're trying to get votes and money, not trying to help any kind of humanitarian needs, because you got some serious issues going on right now in Mexico. And you had Cory Booker. All right, you are in El Paso. You go to Juarez to take some women who already got deported from El Paso. What are you doing? Number one, El Paso is majority Hispanic. El Paso is basically a border town, and Juarez on the other side is right there. I've been to El Paso. It's 85% Hispanic. You can't say it's racist.
Actually,
because go ahead.
El Paso, Laredo is more Hispanic than El Paso, and I never went to El Paso, but I've seen the demographic count.
Okay, but all right, but what I'm saying is that nobody can say that it's racist for somebody to be deported from El Paso. It's a majority Hispanic city. And
yeah,
he is going to Juarez where it's very dangerous. So rather than going over there on humanitarian needs and trying to donate some belongings or something to some of the kids over there, you want to take those that have been deported back to El Paso. You're just trying to get some political points. So they're trying to take advantage of the situation to just get some votes. That's all.
Right. And I mean, to the same people preaching about the Mexican-American War, first off, I was told by another YouTuber, and I believe them, in a chat section. Didn't the U.S. give $1 million to Mexico around the time of the Mexican-American War, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, I don't know. That could be the case, but I don't know that.
Okay, and then the second point would be, why don't they go protest? Why don't they go to Spain and protest against their conquistors? Spain was the one who.
That's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. Go to where your actual grievance should be heard. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, and also another point is that the same countries bitching about how America has always been founded on slavery and oppression, but they don't want to. The Iberian Peninsula slave trade was worse and lasted longer even than the slave trade of America. Heck, even in the slave trade in Brazil. Do they know that?
Yeah, people don't know. People don't know anything about history. They think that there was no slavery in the Caribbean or in South America or anywhere else. They just think that it was a thing that happened in America and it was against Africans and that was it. But that's just an ignorant view of world history.
Correct. And, What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think the slavery in Portugal got even abolished like 5 years later than the United States, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, does America ever get tanks for abolishing slavery? Heck no.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I have a second question. It's kind of off topic, but I guess it's relevant. Anyways, do you think becoming a single mother should be a criminal offense? And how can we, and if not, how can we combat out of wedlock births in minority and poor communities?
Well, no, it shouldn't be a criminal offense because, I mean, sometimes somebody could be, because it's like, all right, it's one thing to become a single mother. That can happen after the baby is born. And it's different than being single, like being unmarried and getting pregnant. That's different. So in either case, the way to resolve it is to get rid of the welfare state. Before the welfare state, like in the black community specifically, you had a 25% out of wedlock birth rate, which is still high, but it was much lower than today, which is 75%, much higher today than it was back then. And the difference between now and 1960 is the advent of the welfare state. Among whites, it was about 5% single parent household rate or out of wedlock birth rate, pardon me, in 1960. Now it's about 25%, which is also a problem. It was a problem for us back in 1960, and it's gotten progressively worse. It's also gotten worse for white Americans because of the advent of the welfare state. The child support laws, the family court laws. The main thing is that welfare state. If you fix that, you'd be able to drastically fix the single parent household rate and out of wedlock birth rate.
All right. Sounds good. All right, man. Not much else to talk. Thank you, ABL, for taking my call as usual.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Anytime.
And shout out to the caller. I mean, that was actually a good question about, you know, should it be a criminal offense? I mean, you got to do something. Something should happen. But the main thing you got to do is get rid of that welfare state. That's what's, you know, supporting all this situation. It is subsidizing it. You know, that's really what's going on. Let me see. All right. I'm reading some of you guys' comments here. You guys are having a great conversation. And if you want to have a talk after the show was over, you can go to the Discord. A link for that is in the description box. If you don't know what Discord is, it is a free chat service. You could talk the same way you're talking right now through, you know, just the keyboard. You can also talk like this. You could talk to each other through microphone. And the Discord link is in the description box. Also put it right here in the chat box so you're able to get to it right away. Thank you to Vipe D for the donation, who's keep up the group reporting. Hey, will do. As long as y'all keep supporting me, I'll keep supporting y'all. But let me get to my next call. 404, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, Anthony. You know, I had to call your show today, Anthony, to see how you doing.
Everything is fine. How are you?
No, Anthony. I'm kind of scared. Don't you heard they're going to do the purge tomorrow, Anthony?
They're going to do what tomorrow?
The purge, Anthony. Some ISIS standers is coming around and gather people up and throw them in the back of 18 and take us to concentration camp, Anthony.
They're going to do the purge tomorrow? Okay, I never heard it called that. Well, hey, if they weren't here illegally, if they did not have deportation orders already on them, then they wouldn't be going out of here. But since they do have deportation orders and they're here illegally, they got to go back.
I don't know about that, Anthony. I just don't want to get killed, Anthony. Men just going to be running around here with them guns and all. You seen that first purge where they had the Klan and all them people running around, Anthony?
No, I don't know nothing about that.
So you need to get you some Netflix or something, Anthony. You know, do some movies or something.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, I like your hat you got on, Anthony.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's what I do. Got hats. And if anybody want to buy the hats, they're in the description box. Thank you for the plug.
I'm going to go buy me one, too, so I can be with you and your people, Anthony.
All right, hey, whatever you want to do. If you want to buy a hat, go for it. Ain't no problem.
Mm-hmm. And what's with this out on AOC? She's still trying to fight that little old lady Nancy, Anthony.
Hey, because they're trying to take over the Democratic Party, so they got to try to fight Nancy Pelosi, but it might not work too well because the whole Democratic Party is basically turned against AOC, except for them 3 girls she hang out with.
Well, we didn't already took over the Democratic Party, Anthony.
Who is we?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who is we?
The LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y.
Okay, y'all took it over, huh? Okay.
Yes, we took it over. It's ours, and you were not going to get it back.
Hey, y'all can have it because I ain't going to vote for the Democratic Party no way. I'm over here on the right side.
Yes, you will.
Nah, I'm good. No, thank you.
Whatever. But anywho, and I just want to let you know that I'm going to be coming back up to Nashville. Well, you ain't in Nashville. I forgot where you were, but I'm coming back up to the cabins in the mountains, Anthony.
And that's nice. Have fun.
Me and my boyfriend, we just going to play a little game called Brokeback. But anyway.
All right. Now, come on. Family show, sir.
Excuse me, Anthony. It's ma'am, Anthony. And I want to know, what's with this man, Paul Ryan? Ain't he gone from Congress? Why he still talking noise, Anthony?
Oh, he's trying to sell a book, probably. Yeah, he's trying to sell his book, so he's just trying to get some money and just trying to, like Paul Ryan was doing that same thing when he was in the government. He came out with this video talking about, don't you guys hate politics nowadays? He was trying to disrupt Trump while he was in there, so now that he's left, he's trying to sell a book and do the same thing. He's a loser at the end of the day.
All of them do the same thing. He wrote a book, Kamala wrote a book, Obama wrote a book, Hillary wrote a book. They all write a book, but I can't read anyway, so I don't care. But anywho, I'm gonna go, Anthony, because it's Saturday and I got to go out here and help make Atlanta great again, Anthony.
All right, well, you enjoy yourself.
I will. But I want to let you know, as I always do, if you run into Lucas and that other man with that nice, shiny black bald head, you tell him I said, hey, Anthony. Okay, Anthony?
All right, I will do. Thank you for the call.
It's always good to talk to my Logan.
No, look. I already told you about that now. Is ABL or Anthony. Don't trying to give you no nickname.
Okay, ABL. I'll talk with you next time, ABL.
All right, bye. Man, shout out to whoever that is. I think I know who that is. The troll caller always call me acting crazy, but I've not really been able to narrow it down to one specific person. I got like 2 people it could be. Okay. But yeah, shout out to everybody calling in. I appreciate you guys, the serious calls and the trolls, everybody that supported. Everybody helped me get to 300,000 views. I appreciate it. Thank you to, and then they said, who says, are you going to be on Discord? I'll be through there. You'll see me in the near future. I might be on there tonight. Who knows? Thank you to Kingdom Kid, who says, do you think there will be a huge crime wave while the power is out in New York? That's a good question. I heard there's a power outage in Manhattan. Good grief. 40K without power. I think as long as everybody stay in the house, you should be fine. I know you guys got bars on the windows on the first floor, so as long as everybody stays in the house, it should be okay. Now, one thing I will say is that you guys may not have access to guns in New York. So if you don't have access to guns, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. I say just be safe, hunker down. Don't be trying to go outside and just hunker down. If you got a vehicle. Matter of fact, just don't go nowhere. I'm about to say if you got a vehicle, get off the island, but nah, just stay where you at. And thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. And thank you to Psalm 91 who says, respect to you, Mr. Logan, for the way you handling this call. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. And shout out to Shreeves who says, just saying what up. Monster Hunter World Sessions. Yeah, shout out to Monster Hunter. I was playing on PC just to kind of get to see what was going on with my settings and everything. It runs pretty well. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Alrighty. But yeah, you guys in New York, if you're in Manhattan or anywhere else that has power outage, please stay safe. Don't try to go out there and do nothing crazy. Don't try to be no superstar. Alrighty, but let me get to my next call here. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's Cigar Box talking to you.
All right, Cigar Box, what's happening?
Oh man, it's just getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
I've heard an awful lot of people have been calling the border guards and ICE and everything racist, and I guess they don't realize that they go after everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like my daughter-in-law is she's from the United States and lives here now. She's a Canadian, but she's got a dual citizenship, and she sent this thing to a bunch of us a while back, and it had her picture on it with a facial recognition when she was flying back home, right, to visit her family. And the thing says, report to passport control. And she didn't know what the hell was going on, but shows up, and apparently some girl from Ireland that she worked with overstayed her visa, and they knew that, like, they had worked together. So this is how much they were, like, digging in to try and find her.
Right.
And she'd only overstayed it by, at that time, I think 2 weeks.
Wow.
And apparently it was just, she was just stupid and didn't pay any attention to the time she was supposed to get her butt out. Because she showed up like about 2 weeks later here in Canada. But she wasn't a minority at all. She was, this white Irish girl, and they were chasing after her so much that they went after my daughter-in-law. Like, wow.
Right.
So I don't see how racist they can possibly be. It's just that if everybody's coming up through South America and they're going to have, whatever background, they're going to look like that so they can play that game. I put a thing up earlier, I don't know if you saw it, but it said that Kamala Harris and her sister, I forget what her name is, but apparently her mother, who's the Indian one, right?
Yes.
Gave her daughters Sanskrit names derived from Hindu mythologies to preserve their cultural identity.
Correct.
So she doesn't mention that, right?
Well, she did. But she did mention it up until this year when she all of a sudden now wants to become black because of political expedience.
Oh man, it's almost funny enough that you'd want her to get the nomination, so she'd be up there and Trump would turn around and say, "That's a nice name, Kamala. What exactly does that mean?" I don't know, man. It's pretty bizarre. And with this media summit, you summed it up perfectly with Brandon showing up at that guy mouthing off. He was the perfect guy out of everybody to show up. An ex-cop. They know exactly what happens when they show up and these guys are escalating into fights and stuff, and they say, "What are you talking about? You want to talk? You can talk right here." Like he's probably done this about 1,000 times as a cop.
Yes.
So he made that guy look like a complete jerk. Like they all look like morons. It was unbelievable behavior that they had, and especially when they try and say that it was the like the YouTubers and people like that. Sorry guys, but learn to code.
That's right. Figure it out. Get a new trade. How about that? That's what they say to us. Say it to them.
Yeah. So they, they're out of work, and you're busting 300,000. You're looking good. So, thanks a lot. Have a great night, man.
All right, thank you for the call.
Talk to you later.
All right, now I appreciate you.
Bye.
That's right. Learn the code. Do something else. Anybody's trying to hear you no more. Crying and whining and cussing and fussing. Let me get to my next call.
Say to us. Say
All
to
right,
them.
now calling you on the line 502. 502. Can you hear me? All right. Okay. To anybody that wants to call in, hear me well. You cannot try to listen to the stream. Listen to me on the phone because there is a delay between me and the stream. Let me try that one more time. All right, call you on the line 502.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Are you well? Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, what's up, ABL? Yeah, I wanted to see your opinion. It's a little off topic, but the Confederate statues.
Yeah.
I live in Louisville, Kentucky, and I tell you, we got some SJW squad around here, and they vandalized some of the Confederate statues, and as far as that debate goes, I think maybe some Confederate statues. There's a strong debate they should be moved. Depends when they were built. A lot were built in the '60s and stuff, but there's another statue here they've been attacking, and also I want to let you know they're also attacking and vandalizing Muhammad Ali murals and statues in town.
Why?
And it was on the news last month. They paint on. There's a big Muhammad Ali mural, and they paint it racist. They call them anti-Semitic and homophobic.
Wow, Muhammad Ali, and isn't he from Louisville?
Yeah, he's from Louisville. I live in Louisville. Yeah, there's Ali statues everywhere. Muhammad Ali Boulevard, everything.
You know what? Hold on. Let's pause for a moment. You know what? This is exactly why you don't take down the Confederate statues, because it's always going to be the next thing. They start with the Confederate statues. Just say, oh, it was built to intimidate. They lost the war. They were racist, all this, that, and the third. And people say, okay, maybe we should move them or whatever. Then it becomes, well, this person, he owned slaves. He was racist. He didn't like black folks. That'd be the president, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. Let's move them as well and take them off with the money. Then you have Muhammad Ali. Okay, a guy that is seen by many as a hero. Oh, no, he was racist. He didn't like white people. He was anti-Semitic. Let's eliminate him too. So who are you going to have left? Are we going to look at every person in history and see imperfections and just say, well, we're not going to look at the good that they did or how impactful they were into society or how they were important to history? Let's just remove them and act like it never existed. You see?
Oh yeah, there's been some articles in the paper of some people saying the exact same thing, and because this has been going on for several years here in Louisville, they did move a few Confederate statues, and I think they might have been vandalized. At least one of them was, but they moved them. They moved them. They didn't destroy them. They moved them, and now there's one that's really a big debate right now, and they call it a Confederate statue, but I'll give you the backstory real quick on it. It's in an extremely trendy part of town where, Louisville is old. And in this particular part of town, like anything goes. I mean, you got freaks, geeks, lawyers, doctors walking together. And there's a statue called the Castleman statue. Now, this particular guy, he served in the Confederate Army for 2.5 years. After the war, he served in the Union Army. And then later on in life, he was always into horses. And he erected a statue of himself. It's an enormous statue of him on a horse. No mention at all of Confederacy. There's no clothing, there's no flag, there's no swords, there's no nothing. It was built in like 1910. He put it up. This particular guy, he donated land and sold land to the city for parks. There are enormous parks in Louisville, like miles and miles, really nice old parks. So this statue's been debated and it actually been vandalized too. They call him a racist, this and that. And they voted on it. It was a even vote. So that meant the statue should stay if it came to an even vote. And then the Democratic mayor, he somehow got it, say they're going to move it. But now they're fighting it again. It's going to court. And it's just crazy that, and now they're digging up all these old quotes from this guy where he actually stopped people from being lynched. He actually fought to desegregate the parks, and they're still calling him a racist. And it's crazy. And now people are finding out this, they're changing their mind. But anyway, it's a big battle. But like right down the street from it there's something called Kentucky Mount Rushmore. And it's a big mural, pretty big, and it's got like Abraham Lincoln, Colonel Sanders, and Muhammad Ali. And that's the one they've been vandalizing. That's been in the news. They did it like last month, and there's a statue of Muhammad Ali, like of some boxing gloves. They vandalized that. Called I can't remember what they wrote on that. They call them racist, stuff like that. It's wild. I mean, I saw it online on the local news, and I looked it up. It did make pretty big news, but not really mainstream. And I just wanted you to know about that, man. It's kind of wild,
Well, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate it. I've not heard that before, but I'm not surprised at all because I figured that'd be the next thing. One thing gets attacked, and then some of the same reasons the first thing was attacked, if it were successful, would be used for the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And before you know it, nothing is right. Nothing is okay. If anybody had it passed that some people disagree with at all, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, man. They're even like some guys who are saying the exact same argument you are. They're like, how far you want to go? I mean, the county is Jefferson after Thomas Jefferson. You know how they feel about him now.
That's right.
There's highways named after guys along those lines. Louisville's named after King Louis. I mean, it can be never ending, to be honest with you. And another thing here in town, I don't know. I've actually talked to people, and they say it's happened, or they've seen it in the news in other places where I guess American flags around 4th of July were getting stolen. There was just a thing on the news about that. Some guy got one stolen off his porch that actually hung over family members or draped over their coffin.
Wow.
At one point in time, and someone
goodness.
stole that. And there's a lot going on here, man, and they call it a graffiti war. Like, people are writing resist on the overpasses on the freeway. But people fighting back. They're painting over it and writing "Love Trump" and all this stuff. It's like it's back and forth, man. And one thing that I noticed that I didn't see in the news, and all this stuff's in the news. I mean, people can Google it, Louisville News, I guess. But this directly relates to AOC and that little squad. There's a particular overpass that I put this together right near this neighborhood where that story on the news was, where that flag was stolen. I kid you not, I've seen on that overpass where people wrote, somebody wrote Green New Deal on there, and people, they mark it out. But on that same overpass, which is about a mile from that neighborhood where that guy's flag was stolen, I kid you not, someone wrote, like as a shout out, Ilhan Omar.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it's just a small little group, if not one or two people around, but it's just wild to me.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. Well, that was a great call, man. Thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, thanks for taking my call, and I'll keep tuning in, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, now that'll be a wrap for me. Thank you all for calling in. I most certainly appreciate you. Great show, great callers as always. And if you guys want to continue the conversation after I'm off of the air, please check out the Discord page. I'll come through the Discord every now and again. You guys will see me in there. The Discord is in the description box, and I'll also put it in the chat box right here. You got gamers in there. You got people talking about politics, news, sports, whatever it is. You could talk on the phone, not on the phone, but through the chat voice, like the way I'm talking right now, to each other in there. And again, it is free. You can also talk and, chat the same way you're doing right now in different little rooms. It's a cool little service. Check it out. It's absolutely 100% free. It is a community of people that watch this channel. It's just for you guys. Talk to each other, just for you. It's absolutely free. So thank y'all for doing what you do. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to all super chatters. Thank you to everybody that's bought some merchandise. I appreciate that. I'll have some new merch soon. I'm gonna try to keep putting up merch. I design all the merch. I do everything here. I designed that flag. I have my man do it for me. Everything is me. So I can put whatever I want on there, take whatever I want off. It is what it is. And thank you to the moderators. You got Bill from the Hill, Shreeps, Michelle A, Ansel, of course, T-Pain, Eliza Jean, everybody. Thank all the mods. You guys do a great job all the time, keeping everything in line. Omar Adams, you guys are great. And thank you to everybody that helped me get to 300,000 subscribers. And if you are not one of them, please go ahead and subscribe. And also like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. Hopefully you all enjoyed the show. And that is a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.